Hey, it says I'm live. I don't believe it. Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. It's been a while. Party people, pay attention to this video because there is going to be good stuff in here. Turns out they don't have any oaths of office. Turns out they don't have any foreign registration statements. Don't have any agency agreements. Don't have any anti-bribery statements. These are unregistered foreign agents acting in the private, on the public, the very definition of privateers. And this is going to be one of those few times. Hit the like button, share the hell out of this. Let's get going. I have some judicial notice. Oh, and by the way, so I walk in the court, and I've been in court now quite a bit because arrested without warrant. Still haven't seen the warrant, and they don't have warrants. So take a look at the 11th Amendment. I should read that 11th Amendment notice. But everybody that's given me Paytreon and kept giving me Paytreon, thank you very much, because I need it. Just in freaking postage and copying is huge. But let's get directly to one of these, and I'll be making more of these videos shortly. Thanks for the like already. Let's see here. And I'll be putting a link down there so you can PayPal, etc. I don't usually ask, but like I said, I'm in a bit of a beef and I need some support. All right, so I sent this to the clerk of the court. And here's what I did. All right. Damn, I don't know where to start. There's so much that's happened. Since you've last seen me, I've spent 143 days in jail in Arizona, where they fed me beans and rice that weren't always cooked. Basically tried to kill me, put me in there with people way above my pay grade, right? Anyway, I have 105 stories to tell about that, and the book is going to be lit, I'll tell you what. But in the meantime, let's go over, like I said, this, the meat and bones of this. Because, I got one guy watching, and I know more of you will join on eventually because people have been, where the hell have you been? Well, it's been a bit of a fight. Let's see here. I mean, continuance after continuance after continuance, and they're just about out of time. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens here in the near future. So here's what happened. What happened is I took myself and my son to Arizona to get out of this state. From slavery times, if you don't like what's going on in your state, you have a right to remove yourself to another state. And sure enough, we get to Arizona, walk into Costco, no mask, no problem. Whereas over here, they were getting stupid. And they were talking about vaccine passports and. So my oldest boy and I went to the mainland. After about a month, the mother of my child files a restraining order saying that my son is in danger. And even though there had been a restraining order previous to this a long time ago, it was personal business, but whatever. They had no new evidence, no new nothing. And that other restraining order was dismissed without prejudice because the judge could see right through this woman. The second time, I hadn't seen her in like 2 years, hadn't talked to her, hadn't anything. So why was there a restraining order necessary? Plus, I was in Arizona, so, keep away 100 feet. What the hell is that? I'm already in Arizona. The people that, the sheriff that brought the restraining is just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I know. Okay, so what she did is she filed a custodial interference charge, even though the boy had been with me for 2 years. And there were no custody agreements. There is no orders. We weren't married, so you can't, the state can't use the story about that little pyramid that people have drawn, David Straight and others, where it's you and your wife and the state is the third party in your marriage. Anyway, if you don't know about that, you should look into that. So technically the state owns your children. You register them. You give them birth certificates. Let's see. So long story short, they arrested me without ever showing me a warrant. I was sure I'd be out of there in 3 days. The foolish mistake I made is I let them take my fingerprints, all but this one. I should have said, I'll give you my fingerprints so do as I say, not as I do. I'll give you my fingerprints when you show me a warrant, right? And they didn't have one, and they still don't have one. When I got back to Maui, 90 days or 100 and whatever, freaking 40 something days later, I refused to give them my fingerprints, and they didn't do boo about it because they can't take your fingerprints without your permission. But most people keel over. All right. So anyway, the last appearance when I was in front of a judge, and I've been there at least once every other week or every couple of weeks for 10 months now, or whatever it's been since March. What it boils down to is they're trying to call me a sovereign citizen, and they're trying to scare this slave back into the pen. And they had a unwitting dupe fill out some paperwork that tried to let them know or tried to give them the ability to do so. But 11th Amendment, they have no judicial authority. And it turns out, and this seems to be the thing that people should lead with this on their websites. When I was in court and asked the judge, and this is true, I said, hi, this is Ben Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, right? Because it's not just Ben Rogers, it's Ben Hosea Rogers. I'm appearing specially, not generally. I'm not appearing as the all caps name. I'm appearing for the all caps name. And before we get started, I would like to see your oaths of office and bonds, foreign agent registration statements, and anti-bribery statement, please. The judge literally did this. The courtroom went quiet, by the way, and it was full. I was the first one called, which is odd because they thought they were just going to reassign me because the judge was getting out of there because she figured out that I've already had the public defender's office now has a conflict of interest with me. So they won't represent me. What's the conflict of interest? I'm going to sue the hell out of them for participating in this farce. But anyway, they found this other lawyer who's interesting. See, because my methodology of going about this is I don't make a stink and fire these guys. I let them withdraw when they realize how much trouble they're going to be in. Anyway, because like I said, you're looking at a wealthy man, assuming they don't kill me. And it's just going to take a little time for this to go through. So this is going to be a very interesting channel here going forward, assuming they don't kick me off. But there's a crap ton, and I mean a crap ton of shit I want to talk about. But I can't talk about everything on here. So let's talk about the things that I can talk about. Mud floods and archaics and the fact that it seems to rain dust every 138 years. And anyway, there's all kind of fun stuff like that. But getting back to court, so I asked her for these basic documents. You would think that, all right, so we assume that they have oaths of office, right, to uphold the Constitution. Now, what they're doing is all rise. They adjourn court when all rise and you sit down. Court is adjourned. Now they're doing private guild business, the bar guild. They're not a court of public record. So what you need to do is ask them for a court of public record. Oh, shoot, I'm going to read that. I better get that up. Hold on a second. So when I asked for her paperwork, let me just make sure I have this handy so I can read it to you because I'm going to be reading a bunch of stuff. This is going to be a long one, probably. Let's see here. Oh, no memes. Yep, there you go. Okay. And then let's go back to you guys. My live stream. I can't believe I'm even... Oh, my connection is unstable. Are we connected or not? Yep. Are we on or what? It says, please wait while we're connecting. Okay, because my thing says your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. They don't want you knowing what I'm about to tell you. I'll give you links to other videos. But like I said, they should lead with this. Kind of important because when I asked for their oath of office, bond, foreign agent registration statement, and anti-bribery statement, and also your prosecuting attorney needs an agency agreement between them and the state of they're representing. They ain't got one because your state of Hawaii or state of Arizona or state of Illinois or state of Texas doesn't have any fingers or thumbs, so it can't hold a pen. So it can't sign an agency agreement. Anyway, the idea being is that, like I said, the courtroom, again, went silent, and the judge literally did this. That's it. And then they moved on, right? Like, oh, right, okay. And I didn't, okay, so I know I've got them, bottom line. So let me read you this. I sent judicial notice, and here's a trick that I learned. All right, all these people that We just had, we can't talk about that. This thing just happened. And when this thing happened, a bunch of people sent in affidavits. And those affidavits, it's true, are not evidence. So when they said there was no evidence of this thing that happened that had to do with Trump and Biden and stuff, they were being honest, because that's not evidence. You know what is evidence? A deposition. A deposition is evidence. All right. So what I did is I took a deposition myself in front, and I can be cross-examined at any time in court. So I took a deposition in front of a notary and attached this document to it. All right, let's go. And if I am not on, type something over here, please. And like I said, hit the like, tell your friends, share this. And if you can hit me with a Patreon or a PayPal, I'd really, really appreciate it, because they are trying to bleed me dry, and they're doing a good job of it so far. All right, so here is a motion for judicial notice, motion for right to be heard, notice of copyright and copy claim, demand for proof of jurisdiction with exhibits. So 1, take judicial notice of the fact that I, Ben Jose Rogers, am an American national born in Illinois at Cook County. I am the executor and beneficiary of Ben Jose Rogers estate. Notice that, Ben Jose Rogers, comma, estate. That's the all caps name. That's the thing that they're doing. They're what are they doing? They're administering your estate without contract consent, right? They're, writing bonds on you and enriching themselves, these pirates. And they shouldn't be able to come after the executor, but they won't recognize you as the executor. And what you have to do to get recognized as the executor is you have to change your address. And there's a whole thing about that. And we'll get into that later, maybe. Anyway, but the basic tenet in under our Constitution is which is not operative in their courts, because they're doing private bar business, unless you print it into a court of public record, which they won't let you do. But anyway, the idea is that they have no judicial authority, and they can't, if they're trustees, and if you're the executor, the trustees do what the executor says. So of course they don't want to be recognize you as the executor. You're just some guy. You're an infant. Go look at 1 USC 1. Look it up. 1 USC 1. Here, I'll read it to you. What does 1 USC 1 say? 1, should have had this up already, sorry. 1 USC 1. Words denoting number, gender, and so forth. That's literally the title. Anyway, go look it up. Words denoting number, gender, and so forth. And if you do that and you get on the Legal Information Institute at Cornell, click the link, because there's plenty of hyperlinks. And it's going to tell you, it doesn't say anything about a man or woman. It talks all about persons and the definition of person. The words, oops, let's go back. Person. There you go. Person, in determining the meaning of any act of Congress or any ruling, regulation, or interpretation of the various administrative bureaus and agencies, notice they say administrative, of the United States, the words person, human being, child, and individual shall include, and you know about the shall include thing, so that means it excludes everything else, shall include every infant member of the species Homo sapiens who is born alive at any stage of development. At any stage of development. That means you can be an adult and still be considered an infant. Get it? All right. So, and if you've got somebody representing you, a lawyer or attorney who is attorneying you, you are definitely an infant who can't speak for themselves. Oh, shoot. No, I left it in the house. I went to the post office and I have evidence of a violation of USC 1346, or excuse me, 1342. USC 1342 is a fictitious name and address. They don't even use their real names. Whenever I ask the clerks, like the last clerk I asked for his name, he's like, he told me his name was Norm. And then I asked him, well, what's your last name, Norm? And he said, why? And I said, your last name is why? Because we're in Hawaii and that's actually not a joke. Anyway, And he goes, no. And it turned out to be something else. But they don't even want to tell you their last names because they know they're criminals. And they know they can be held liable. All right, let's get back to this. So I'm here as executor of the estate named in this matter. Remember, they turned it into a matter, not a case, by special appearance and not generally, and only appear for the purpose of demurrer, with all rights reserved under my full God-given name, Ben Hosea Rogers. And I spelled that colon, lowercase B-E-N hyphen H-O-S-E-A, colon R-O-G-E-R-S. I appear for Ben Hosea Rogers, not as Ben Hosea Rogers estate. Okay, as indicated on the birth certificate, which has previously been presented in court. Okay, I'm also the sole beneficiary for the legal decedent entity known as Ben Hosea Rogers, as indicated on your documents. Again, not as the surety, but as beneficiary, executor, and creditor. I have appointed officers of the court as trustees, they didn't like that, to settle this matter. See Exhibit A. Okay. And yeah, anyway, I notice I got a green packet. It's going to be a little while. It's thick. We're going to read the whole thing. I hope we can get this done. Although it keeps saying the connection is unstable. Wait while we're reconnecting. I may have to move this inside. Oh, look at this. There's a kitty cat that wants to say hi. Let's see here. So where was I? I appear... Let's increase the size of this just a little bit. Easier for me to read. The glare is horrifying here. I don't know if you can even see me because of the way this lighting is. And that's the only light I have right there in this place. That's the Hawaiian Homes, cuz. All right, so let's see here. And not as beneficial. Oh, and by the way, you're not the you're the beneficial equitable title holder, which means that it's not you. You didn't set that thing up. Somebody set it up for you. You have usufruct, just like you have usufruct of your car, and if you registered your guns, you have usufruct of your guns. And if you have usufruct of your guns, that means you can use them and stuff. But do you think that they're going to let you use them if things were to go south, let's just say? So, yeah, I live in a state, the state of Hawaii, and on the island of Maui, where I know lots and lots and lots of people, and I'm not going to mention any names, because they're not required to, and they know it, that have all manner of firearms, which are protected by the Second Amendment. And that finally came down from the Supreme Court, where Hawaii was one of the butt-headed states that they're going to say, oh, you need to have an excuse or a reason for to carry a weapon or to have a weapon. No, you have the Second Amendment is what you have. So now Hawaii is scrambling to get in line with that. Okay. So let's see here. I'm not the surety, but the beneficiary, executor, and creditor, and I've appointed officers of the court as trustees to settle this matter. See Exhibit A, and I'll show you Exhibit A in a minute. I appear as subrogee. Now, this is what you got to find out about, and I should have put it in the title, but subrogation. Oh, subrogation, big damn deal, where you swap places with the all caps name because you're the living man, not the surety. Right. So you should have, and they should certify your right of subrogation. And they don't want to, in my case. Right. They're trying hard not to. We've had 3 continuances, and I've not gotten a yes or a no on the subrogation. Okay. But I would be the subrogee. So I'm going to put some videos down below on subrogation, and I'll talk more about it in future videos. Huge. Huge. So anyway, I appear as the subrogee, not as surety. And, am I even recording? It keeps saying that it's not. It's reconnecting. Hey, from Utah. How's it? Yeah, the 100 monkey's still alive. And I can't tell if it's working or not. All right, fine. That's just them messing with me then, is what this basically boils down to. All right, so I'm going to pretend like it's going. Yeah, mind games. Okay, so let's see here. So this is under, every section is going to be under 201, Judicial Notice and Adjudicative Facts. So anyway, subrogee, not the surety. I have superior claim. I am the paramount interest holder in any property contested in my case number, or in another case, right? Because what they do is they'll give you two cases. I have a case number, and at the very end, they'll have parentheses and a 4 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4, and those are all separate cases. So you got to make sure that you know what case you're sticking your information in on, because they're writing bonds on you and using these case numbers. Anyway, so over here in the family court of the Second Circuit, there is no such thing as in the family court of the Second Circuit. There is the Second Circuit Court, or there's Maui Second Circuit Court. That's the official name of the court. So they're going to give you, a DBA, doing business as. It's not a judicial notice. I mean, it's not actual. What's the word I want? It's not a recognized tribunal. How's that? Okay, so based on this understanding, please take judicial notice under Section 201 of the Federal and State Rules of Evidence, Section 201, judicial notice of adjudicative facts and of the following. 2, take judicial notice of the fact that under my right to due process discovery, the court cannot prevent me from reading notarized documents into the record, although they have tried and been successful numerous times, telling me they don't have time, right? That's like a one-page document. And then here's the other thing before I even forget. 28 USC 1746. Always sign your documents, whether you get a notary or not, with that. And it's number 1. You're without the United States, not within the United States. Every document you put in for anything, or it's an unsworn document, 28 USC 1746, and you want the first one, United States of America, not just United States Inc. Anyway, the law never suffers anything contrary to the truth. Willful omissions are not the truth. And they have made numerous willful omissions, like, oh, by the way, we don't have oaths of office. Oh, by the way, we're not registered foreign agents. Oh, by the way, we don't have anti-bribery statements. Oh, by the way, we don't have agency agreements. I'd say those are rather important omissions, because the corporation that they represent, the all caps name with the DUNS number, that is domiciled in this place called Washington, D.C. You think that it's the several states, but it's not. Just like when you walk into an embassy, and I have in various places, that's considered U.S. soil. Not Montana, right? Not Hawaii, not Florida, not Texas. U.S. soil, that would be the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. Right? They make you think one thing when it's another. All right. So let's see here. Take judicial notice, and see each one of these. This is 4. Take judicial notice of the fact that truth can only be expressed in the form of a legal affidavit. A legal affidavit is undisputed truth unless a counterclaim or rebuttal has been made. An undisputed affidavit or of claim becomes final judgment. However, an affidavit is not evidence unless it is testimony or in the form of a deposition. Take judicial notice that this is testimony in the form of an affidavit in which I declare superior claim as living man sui juris, acting as executor for Ben Hosea Rogers' estate, beneficiary and copyright holder of same. I am equitable title holder and no other. There is no other equitable title holder. And where is my equitable title? Oh, look, here it is. Here is my equitable title. It comes in the form of one of these. That's a birth certificate. Wait, where's my long form? Where's my long form? All right, so I should probably cover up well, you couldn't read it anyway. We'll cover up both of these. But anyway, hold this up in court. There's your beneficial equitable title. You don't own it. You just have beneficial equitable title. You have usufruct of that estate, supposedly. But no, what they're doing is tapping your bonds. Right? Writing all kinds of bonds on you. GMI utility, I'm going to put it in there. There's a little question mark thing in there. Put your social security number in there. Put the number on the bottom of that birth certificate in there. Put the number on the back of your social security card on there. And look at all the bonds they've written on you, slave, without your consent or permission or knowledge. And you want them to stop because it's a naughty no-no. And don't get to the point where, like me, where you get arrested. Do all of this beforehand. So write Freedom of Information Act, and we'll talk about this later. I sent a Freedom of Information Act request into the Attorney General and to the Administrator of the Courts, and lo and behold, I have received no response. So they're already in default. I just need to send the third one out, and one of them just won't be delivered because I'm pretty sure they won't sign the green card. Anyway, okay, so take judicial notice of the truth. We just did that. Beneficiary, the equal title. Okay, number 4 has been read. All right, let's go to number 5. Number 5 is nice and short. Take judicial notice of the fact that I have yet to see a warrant issued within 72 hours of my arrest, supported by a testimony of a witness with firsthand knowledge of the matter. The prosecutor is not a witness. See point 23 below. 6, my rights are my property. Take judicial notice that I have the right to administer this estate. There are no agency agreements between me and any other, nor have nor have a given power of attorney to any but one. And that should be nor have I given power of attorney to any but one. Take judicial notice of the following points or rebut each point under penalty of perjury. Rebutting one point does not automatically rebut all points. Notice of one point does not automatically admit all points. 8, take judicial notice of 1 United States Code, hereafter USC 112, which I printed at Exhibit B. You can go over to the website. It's It's governmentinfo.gov, govinfo.gov, and put in, and you can print PDFs. It's basically the government printing office. And you can turn all of these into PDFs, which you can then turn into exhibits. Okay, where I was. Take judicial notice of United States Code, hereafter USC 112. Look it up. Exhibit B, the United States statutes at large shall be legal evidence of laws, concurrent resolutions, treaties, international agreements, and other than treaties, proclamations by the President, and proposed or ratified amendments to the Constitution of the United States therein contained. In other words, the U.S. Code is evidence, right? They can't keep it out of the office. They can't keep it out of court. In all the courts of the United States, the several states, and the territories and insular possessions of the United States, right? So all the USC is admissible as evidence, right? So they can't keep it out. 9, take judicial notice of the following. And there's ways, because there's certain documents you'll have to either get recorded in some other county, because most counties won't record, like, for example, your copyright or other documents that they don't want because it'll make them lose. So they just don't record them. So you'll have to go to a place to either record them or go to a public registry, so that it's noticed to the world and they can't keep it out of court. Anyway, okay, take judicial notice of the following constitutions, which are self-authenticating documents, right? Because I'm not going to attach the constitutions. But, I mean, I've heard them say that, how do I know that's the real Constitution? Well, you know what? They're self-authenticating, and which are not attached as exhibits in the interest of paperwork reduction, but certified copies can be obtained at the addresses provided. These constitutions should be known to any officer of the court, since they are presumed to have taken an oath. Notice how I put presumed, not assumed, to have taken an oath to uphold same, and are the supreme law of the land. They no more oaths. Let me say that again. These motherfuckers don't have oaths. They are unregistered foreign agents. And see, it hit me. I was watching this video about traffic, and Tappy basically said at one point, when he knew he was just about done being alive, unregistered foreign agents. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh, I know who he's talking about now. Okay, so the United States Constitution. You can get the United States Constitution from the National Archives and Records Administration, 8601 Adelphi Road, College Park, Maryland, 207-40-6001. You can get the Hawaii State Constitution from the Legislative Reference Bureau, Hawaii State Capitol, 415 South Beretania Street, number 005, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. And I should have spelled out South. Darn it. See, as I'm going over it, I find the typos days later. Illinois State Constitution, Legislative Reference Bureau over there at 112 State House, Springfield, Illinois, 62706. Why the Illinois? Because I'm an inhabitant, not a resident of the state of Hawaii. And actually, not state of Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands, Maui in particular, not county of Maui, which is its own private corporation, which is domiciled in Washington, D.C., but just Maui Island. I'm an inhabitant thereof, not a resident. There's a difference. Okay, Illinois State Constitution, because I was born in Illinois, so that Constitution applies to me wherever I go inside the 50 contiguous, or excuse me, not contiguous, but several states, union states. Let's see here. So that's 112 State House, Springfield, Illinois, 62706. And then the Arizona State Constitution, where the kidnapping took place. And they don't have a legislative reference bureau. What they have is Holly Henley, probably an old gray-haired lady with glasses, what I pretend what I see, but you never know. State librarian and director of library, archives, and public records. Or actually, wait, it goes like this. State librarian and director of library, comma, archives and public records. 901, damn it, I did it again. West Madison Street. Damn it, I did that again. It should be spelled out. W-E-S-T, and street should be spelled out S-T-R-E-E-T. Dang it. Anyway, I'm using their copyrights. Phoenix, Arizona, 85009. Okay, take judicial notice of 4 USC 101. This is kind of important. That's 4 USC section 101. Oath by members of legislatures and officers, right? Every member of a state legislature and every executive and judicial officer of the state shall, before he proceeds to execute the duties of his office, take an oath in the following form, to wit, I, A.B., do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And take notice of 4 U.S.C. 102, same by whom administered, derived from 61 Stat 644, requires record or certificate thereof to be made. You'll see, well, I have Exhibit C, and I even underlined that part there. Because not only are they supposed to have an oath, they have to have a record, right? There it is. That's the USC. It applies in your state, my state, every state. And if you go back and look at 1 USC 01, he also means she. So done with the wokeness. 10.1, take judicial notice of Article 16, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution. And it'll be the same thing in your state. Just look it up. There'll be some place in there. In ours, it's Article 16, Section 4. In your state, it'll be different. Oath of office, Section 4. All eligible public officers, before entering upon the duties of their respective offices, shall take and subscribe to the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the constitutions of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Hawaii, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as blah, 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 public school principal, officer of the court, judge, whatever it is, to the best of my ability. As used in this section, eligible public officers means the governor, the lieutenant governor, the members of both houses of the legislature. These are all supposed to have oaths of office. The members of the Board of Education, so the school board, the members of the National Guard, state or county employees who possess police powers, district court, look, it even mentions it, judges, and all those whose appointment requires the consent of the Senate. And then it's Random Constitution 1978, because we had a constitutional convention in 78, and the election November 7, 1978, SB 1440, 1992, election, right, November 3, 1992. All right, so 10.2, take judicial notice of the fact that the governor's appointees are subject to the consent of the Hawaii State Senate. Right, so going back to 10.1, right? Okay, so they can't say that, oh, we don't need to take an oath of office. Yes, you do. Okay, 10.3, take judicial notice of the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States. Ooh, the supreme law of the land decrees that the Senate and representatives before mentioned and members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. One more time. I sent and I've sent it twice now. I sent a Freedom of Information Act request. Let's see here. That would be, what would that be? Oh, look. Exhibit F, there's my copyright. Oh, look, there's them trying to fool you. See, and there's, like I said, there's the law just written out. This is, what is this? This is 18 U.S.C. 1342, fictitious name or address, which is that right there, where they give you a fictitious name or address. And I just got another evidence of that in the mail. They sent it by mail. I can't believe these guys are that ridiculous. Okay, so here is Exhibit A. I don't know how bad the wind is. It's blowing pretty good over here. Let's take. What can I put on this? Well, let's take this so it doesn't blow away. Sorry. So sorry. Okay, good. All right. So, and I put a $1 stamp on it. This is a copy. Under the Hawaii Open Records Law of Section 91-1 et sec, I'm requesting the opportunity to inspect and obtain copies of public records for certain officers, employees, members listed below. What am I asking for? Oath of office, insurance surety bond, foreign agent registration statement, and that's under 22 U.S.C. FARA 1938. FARA is the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Anti-Bribery statement, that'd be 15 U.S.C. FCPA 1998, Federal Code of, oh, shoot. It's in here. See, and you shouldn't use abbreviations if you don't know them by heart. And I'm just having a brain fart because I'm on video. Let's see here. Oh, certificate of participation. That allows them to tax your bonds or take money off your bonds without being taxable. Certified warrant for committal with signature and seal. That would be my arrest warrant. Certified orders with signature and seal. They have none. And I didn't ask for agency agreements because I didn't know about agency agreements at that time. And it's all the different people that are involved in my case. I've sent this now, as you can see. I put delivered and delivered. And on the ones that I sent, I put delivered and put the actual certified mail number. And they have two because I sent it once. And then I sent it a second time, which was a affidavit of default with opportunity to cure to both of these guys. All right. She's received it twice. This one has only received it once because the mail, although she got it Monday and I already got my green card back on this one still says it's out for delivery. All right. And that's to the administrative director of the courts. All right. So that's the first thing. Oh, and also in here, I could have made this a little stronger and I'll show you a better one where it's also USC 5, Section 552, Freedom of Information Act request. Right. But I just used the state of Hawaii because we're state of Hawaii. All right. And then here are all my exhibits and I'll get to those later. All right. So see what I did is because I did a deposition, these exhibits are now evidence. Then I can keep them out. They don't like me. All right. So let's go. Take judicial notice of the fact that the governor's appointees are subject to the consent of the Hawaii State Senate, which, right? So all of the people or all of the judges in the circuit courts are governor's appointees. So they're subject to the consent of the Senate and they need oaths of office, right? So what we're doing is just making it so that they can't say boo about, I don't need an oath. Okay. Even if they're doing private business on the private side, because you have the public side. And the magic words are, I would like a court of public record. Is this a court of public record? Are we convening a court of public record? Because you just adjourned court. When the judge walks in and they say, all rise, and everybody rises, and then you sit down, court is adjourned. And then they're doing private business. Bar attorneys. And you saw it not. And I'll show you this in just a second. I'll read that to you after I get done. And by the way, you can only do 25 points on this. You can't do like 101 points. You can do 25 points. So I did 25 points, but now I'm at 10.3, right? So this is all part of point 10. Okay, take judicial notice of the 6th article. Oops, I just read that. But I'll read it again. The 6th article of the Constitution, article, not amendment, of the United States, the supreme law of the land, decrees that the Senate of Representatives before mentioned and members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers, both the United States and the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support the Constitution. 10.4, take judicial notice that it is a fact that Black's Law Dictionary, see, use them. This is not my opinion. This is their definitions in their book. Take judicial notice of that it is a fact that Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition, defines a judicial officer as a justice for the peace. Notice it says justice for the peace, not of the peace. magistrate or judge or any other officer of the court. Public defender is an officer of the court. Prosecutor is an officer of the court. Clerk of the court is an officer of the court. Yeah, all of them. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you what to do about it. You're going to tax them using the executive secretary of the Department of the Treasury, but we'll get to that later. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff here, and I've been gone for a long time. And you guys that kept giving me Patreon, even though I was gone that whole time, thank you. Those of you that quit, I understand. But I would appreciate it if you could give me some Patreon because I need it. I'm serious. They're bleeding me dry. Making it very difficult to work. I'm on supervised release, which is so ridiculous. I call once a week and they don't even, half the time, they don't even answer. Anyway, so I just leave a message. Yep, everything's fine. Take judicial notice of the fact that NOLO's Plain English Law Dictionary defines officer of the court as any person who has an obligation to promote justice and uphold the law, including judges, clerks, court personnel, police officers, and attorneys who must be truthful in court and obey court rules. See point 3 above. And what was point 3? Bonk. We'll go back to point 3. And point 3 basically just says, take judicial notice of the fact that in all interchange, truth and is sovereign and the supreme rule. In all commerce, the alloidial and supreme rule is truth. The law never suffers anything contrary to truth. Willful omissions are not truth. That was point 3 above. Okay. Now, coming back to 10.6, take judicial notice. An act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths is the first act of Congress signed into law after the ratification of the Constitution of the United States. Right? The Constitution, and actually that should say Constitution for the United States. 1 Stat 23. And legislatures that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit, and this is just me repeating again, I, A.B., do solemnly swear to, or affirm, as the case may be, that I will, and it actually says that, as the case may be, that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And such officer shall incur the same penalties in case of failure, shall be imposed by the law in case of failure in taking the representative oaths of office. I screwed that one up. See, I'm reading my typos now. And I've read this document so many times and fixed so many things, and still the typos get through. You don't see them until the second time. All right. 11, take judicial notice, 18 U.S.C., particularly but not limited to Section 371. This is huge. 18 U.S.C. 371. Go look it up. Conspiracy to commit offense or defraud the United States makes it a crime if 2 or more persons conspire to either commit any offense against the United States, like not taking your oath of office, not registering as a foreign agent, and not having an anti-bribery statement, or to defraud the United States at 241, Section 241. This one should be known to you. 18 U.S.C. 241, conspiracy against rights. 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. If they don't have their oaths and they don't have a foreign registration statement and they don't have an anti-bribery statement and they don't have any agency agreements, they are acting under color of law. They don't have law. Okay, Section 1001. Statements or entries generally. Go look at that. That's for that document where I had all the red markings on. That comes under 1001. 1342, fictitious name or address. 1341, frauds and swindles. See Exhibit D 1 through 5. So all I did, Exhibit D 1 through 5. Let's see here. Oh, and notice on the back, copyright, copy claim. So here are Exhibits D. There's B. It's more B. Exhibit C. And see, what are they? It's just me copying the law for them. So they can't say anything. And see, I went up there, and as I said, USC has to be admissible. So here's D. Right, and I said, 371, conspiracies to commit offense to defraud the United States. There it all is. Written out, plain in black and white. Nothing missing. Let's see here. Conspiracy against rights. There's 2 for it, right? So I just wrote it down for them, right? Just made it easy. They don't have to go, trouble themselves with looking it up on the internet. They have it right there. Here's Exhibit D3, and neither were the jurors if it comes to that. deprivation of rights under color of law. You can read it there. Oh, and let's just read this. Let's see here. I'm just going to read this little part here. We'll start. If such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, if such acts include what? Kidnapping? Or an attempt to kidnap. They didn't attempt to kidnap me. They kidnapped me. Picked me up from Arizona, brought me back to Hawaii against my will. I call that kidnapping. Picked me up in front of my hotel room. Totally made up this excuse, right? I get this call that says, oh, you forgot to sign something. Walk downstairs to sign in at the front desk, and a bunch of cops snatch me. The moment I saw them, I said, this is kidnapping. So he has no qualified immunity or sovereign immunity because he can't say he didn't know because I told him. And they never showed me a warrant, right? Okay, trying to scare what they consider a sovereign citizen back into the pen, right? Okay, and it even put it in writing that, oh, you're claiming to be I never once claimed to be a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. If you put the word state in there, now it makes sense. A sovereign state citizen, there you go, because I was born in the sovereign state of Illinois, and you can't get out of your obligation to where you were born. Anyway, but if it includes kidnapping or an attempt at kidnapping, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years, or life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. Did you catch that? All right. Conspiracy against rights, same thing. They shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in the violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. I believe we have conspiracy against rights, and I believe we have, that's 241, conspiracy against rights, and I believe we have 242, clearly deprivation of rights under color of law, because, as I said, denouement, their oaths of office, they're acting outside of their authority. They don't have foreign registration. See, I was silly. I thought they would have their oaths of office. I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you think they have their oaths of office? I mean, that's just, right? I mean, nope. Okay, surety bond, nope. By the way, my economy is self-insured. But the foreign registrations, I thought, oh, I got them. They're going to have foreign registration statements. I was appalled and floored at my naivete when I realized that they don't even know office. They don't even have their oaths of office together, right? They're completely pirates, criminals, acting, right? And I mean, this is your police officers. They also, because they work for County of Maui, which is a foreign to us. Your counties are foreign. They all caps county of, they all have DUNS numbers, which you can look up. State of Hawaii, DUNS numbers, which you can look up. And state of Hawaii and the state of Hawaii are not the same. Section 601-15, I believe I bring it up in here, says that the style of process shall run the state of Hawaii. Okay, it's the same in your state. The state of Texas, the state of California, the state of Illinois, the state of Arizona. Not just state of Arizona in all caps. That's the private corporation, which they work for. And they're trying to make you into an employee, a dependent DO, dependent employee or officer of state of whatever it is, right? State of Hawaii or County of Maui, or the judiciary courts for the county or for the state of Hawaii, or the Hawaii State Judiciary, and all these things that sound official. But all of the courts come under the executive, right? So those are Article 1 courts. They are not Article 3 courts. So they can't even issue a judicial warrant because they're not justices. They are administrative, what do you call it? Commissioners. They are not judges. They masquerade as judges. Okay, so even your traffic tickets. I mean, we'll get more in this. And can you see where I'm going to get in trouble, right? Because do they want you having this information? No, but see, the Great Awakening is upon us, folks. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. People is waking up left and right. Okay, just for the information I just gave you, $5, please. Anyway, normally it's not a problem. Let's see here. Yeah. And you should have seen, I don't know if I'm well. I mean, look at this. Literally, they tried to kill me. It was when I first got out of jail, I was pale, had these huge bags under my eyes. My teeth still have not recovered because my gums, dude, they malnourish you in Arizona, thanks to Arapaio. They don't, people think that you get fed. You don't get fed. On the weekends, they feed you twice a day, what they call a Lambo sack, which is a joke, if you know the origin of Lambo. But the idea is that you get a piece of bread about this big, a thing of peanut butter, which is bad for you because they use the most terrible oils. You can even feel it. A little thing of jelly and a piece of fruit, which they, of course, turn into hooch. Usually an orange. Once in the morning, once in the evening. No middle meal in the day, all weekend. And then 5 days a week, you get that for breakfast, a piece of bread, a little piece of peanut butter, or a little bag of peanut butter, a little thing of jelly, and a piece of fruit for breakfast. And then for dinner, you're going to get beans and rice, broccoli, and not the florets, just the stems, and another piece of bread. And that's it. Guys go in there big and they lose weight and half the time it's not edible, and pieces of rat shit in there, and all kind of stuff. In Arizona, I went to Watkins. I took a tour, made good friends with some interesting people. Went to Watkins, went to 4th Avenue where the bad people go, and my bond was $50,000. I had a cellmate where the only reason why he wasn't a murderer is because he stabbed the guy to death, but they brought him back on the way to the hospital. We got to be friends. Other guys killed multiple people in car accidents, right? Their bond's less than me. Assault with a deadly weapon, $5,000 bond. My bond for traveling with my son, as is my right, to Arizona, $50,000 bond. And no arrest warrant. Okay. We are in the kangaroo courts, kids. Anyhow, so now I'm figuring out what to do. Like I said, you're looking at a wealthy man. If they don't kill me, I'm gonna collect, because they're so in the wrong, and they know they're in the wrong. And this now the judge that was harassing me has recused herself because of conflict of interest. Public defenders have recused themselves because of conflict of interest. And I have a new court. See, I wasn't going to make videos until I finished this, so I could say, all right, but we're in the middle of it. I have another court date on Monday. Think good thoughts. Oh, I should give you the Zoom number. I'll put it down below. So if you want to zoom in and watch them try to railroad me, it can be fun. But like I said, the last time I was in court, the judge literally did this. When I asked her for foreign registration statements and other things. Anyway, all right. So where was us? We was at 1342 fictitious name. Oh, let me show you that. We're having fun. We're having some fun. It's only $4 every 5 minutes. Let's see here. And I hope the wind isn't too bad on the speaker. Oh, come on. It's in red. You can't miss it. Nope. Oh, yeah. There it is. I'm only just having issues because I'm outside in the garage. And it's a little breezy today. It is a lovely Maui day. Oh, yesterday was so perfect. And now we're in third world Maui. Power keeps going out for no reason. The other night it went out, and all the traffic lights snarled up because whether they turned the power on, the traffic lights didn't come back on. Yesterday, middle of the afternoon, beautiful cloudless day. No wind. It was still yesterday, nice and warm. Power just goes out for no reason. About a half an hour. Island wide. Something's up. I don't know what. Usually the power is pretty consistent here. Anyway, so there is violation of 1346 or 1342 I'd better say 1342. Yes, it does. Okay. Fictitious name and address because Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, County of Maui, Wailuku, Maui, Hawaii, 96793. That's not their address. And that's not his name. The name that when I went and looked it up, this Ronson S. Ibarra type person at 9510, that's not his number either. It's Ronson Surya Ibarra, and it's 009510. So he's not giving me his real name. He's giving me a nom de guerre, and he didn't give his address. And he just did it again and sent me stuff through the United States mail. This was handed to me in court. So you can kind of sort of get around it. But when you send it through the mail, he in trouble. And then over here, like I said, State of Hawaii, style of process, not in there, right? Section 601-15. State of Hawaii, C number 5. Anyway, we'll get to this. Number 7, State of Hawaii, doesn't list the State of Hawaii as a plaintiff. What the hell? Let's see here. State's memorandum in, okay, what state, right? State of Hawaii's memorandum? Let's see here. Why is my last name bolded? Everything was for the avoidance of perjury. How come he didn't sign under penalty of perjury? He signed under penalty of law. So I put a little stop and correct it here. Stop and correct this. And this will be 23.4. We'll get there, right? There's 25 points in the letter I'm reading to you. Anyway, got to learn how to read. Some friendly Masons decided that they would take pity on me. All right. It's going to go for a little longer, or actually quite a while longer. Let's take a look and see if there's any cool comments. Nope. Okay. And how long have we been going? An hour already. Oh, my God. All right. Go, hurry up. Okay. So let's see here. Take judicial notice of, we did deprivation of rights in the color of law, 1001, exhibits D1 through 5. Like I said, you just go to the government printing office, print them off, highlight what you want, and hand it to them so that they don't have to do any work and they know that you did your homework. Take judicial notice of 22 U.S.C., Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1938. Wow. The fact that the foreign agent registration statements are required, attorneys are considered foreign agents. Oh, wait, excuse me. Take judicial notice of 22 U.S.C., Foreign Agent Registration Act 1938. And the fact that foreign agent registration statements are required. Attorneys are considered foreign agents under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. All of them, not some of them. And guess what? There's only 1 million attorneys, right? And the short is FARA. And as subject to the Bar Association, U.S. citizens, as are subjects of the Bar Association, U.S. citizens, right? And you've claimed to be a U.S. citizen, foreign to American nationals. Yeah, U.S. citizens are foreign to American nationals. That's what I'm trying to say there. Okay. 4 things that you're going to have to correct. I've corrected 3 out of 4, and I'm about to go take care of 4. 1, I have already rescinded and rescissioned my voter registration. Get out and vote real hard. You want to be an elector, not a voter, because when you fill out that voter registration, it says, are you a U.S. citizen? And you're going to check yes, and now you're subject to their, right? You told them. They didn't tell them, right? You start off as an American national. You start off as a sovereign state citizen, not a sovereign citizen, a citizen that is part of a sovereign state where you were born. You weren't born in the federal zone. You weren't born in Washington, D.C. You were born in a state and in a county in that state upon the land. All right. But you keep telling them that you're a U.S. citizen. And I've said this in other videos. I watched a couple of my other videos before I got to this one. I'm embarrassed by some of them. But anyway, they stand as my journey that how I got here. So 1, get rid of that and become an elector, not a voter. Okay, passport. Oh, you put U.S. citizen on your passport. Not change that, and I'll get to this later. But there's a thing in there that even says American national, and you can elect to be an American national. And there's international law that makes it so that you, which the United States signed, that tells you that you have a right to self-determination. So you can determine that you are an American national. Nobody else can do. They can't tell you what you are. They can't tell you anything. And then your driver's license, you definitely check United States, right? Okay, so I got rid of my driver's license. Not only did I get rid of my driver's license, I claimed the insurance that they put on that driver's license. And then lastly, your bank account is going to say U.S. citizen. So you got to go down to their bank and say, hey, I just want to change. The only thing I want to change is let you know that I'm an American national, not a U.S. citizen, right? I was born in one of the several American states. And they're going to give you a hard time. You may have to close an account and reopen it. But you need to let them know that it was a mistake. You didn't realize that you changed your status when you checked U.S. citizen, because you thought U.S. citizen and a American national or a United States of America citizen, a member of the Republic, was the same thing. U.S. citizen was short for it. But it's not. Turns out the words mean what they mean, and you have to look them up in Black's Law and other dictionaries so that you know what a U.S. citizen is as compared to an American national, or as compared to a some people have other designations. I think I like American national. All right, 13. How the Crime Stoppers doing? We're down to 6. We were up at 8. You can come back and watch this thing at 2 times speed. This thing is juicy. It's full of jam-packed, full of knowledge. But I'm telling you, the lead and the most important part, after I don't get lost in the fact, they don't have oaths of office, they don't have bonds, which is why you can't sue their bonds, because they don't have them. They don't have foreign agent registration statements. They don't have bribery, anti-bribery statements. Rather important. All right. And I just read you. I didn't make this up. This is not my opinion. Go read 22 U.S.C. FARA, right? Act of 1938. All right. Take judicial notice of Article 3, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. See, and above, I already gave them that those are self-authenticating documents, and I didn't attach them, but they should, because they're supposed to have an oath to this. The judicial power shall extend in all cases, in law and equity, arising under this Constitution and the laws of the United States, and treaties made, this is what's important, and treaties also, and I'm going to put a treaty down below, or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between 2 or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign states or citizens or subjects. Guess what? Washington, D.C. is a foreign state. Go look it up. Article 3, Section 2. Take judicial notice of the 6th Amendment. There it is again, right? I'm telling them. I told them again. I'm telling them one more time. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the rights to a speedy and public trial. A speedy and public trial, not a private trial. You're not on the private side. Yes, you are, because all rise. Everybody rises. They sit down. Court is adjourned. Now they can go there and do their private bar business, their bar guild business. Telling you, look it up. This is not my opinion. So a speedy and public trial, not a speedy and private trial, by an impartial jury. So when you walk in there, and you'll see, I'll hope I can find the video, because I think they deleted it already, but there was this black guy walked in the court. Hey, is this court of public record? Hey, is this court of public record? I want to put some stuff on the public record. And they just issued him, or, escorted him out of court. Okay. By an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, and which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusations, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, and to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. That's another thing. If you don't have counsel, they can't really convict you. Further, they're supposed to have witnesses, not just information, right? And again, under Tenzi versus Pagliaro, but there's a G in there, but it's Italian, so it's silent. So Pagliaro, the prosecutor can't be a witness. Simple as that. He's either the prosecutor or a witness, but he can't be both. Okay, the judicial notice of this is huge. 13.2. Take judicial notice of the 11th Amendment. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to in any suit in law or equity connected or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. Washington, D.C. is a foreign state. hence the need for foreign registrations, right? And these are unregistered foreign agents acting upon you, privateers, or pirates. 13.3, the judicial notice, take judicial notice that is the fact that it is a violation of the 11th Amendment for foreign citizens to invoke the judicial power of the state. So even if they had their Foreign Registration Act, which they don't, they'd be violating the 11th Amendment. Boy, what happens when you actually read the fucking documents? And this is why in high school, they didn't make you study the Constitution. They didn't give you a year of law. They didn't, right? They didn't even give you civics. Nothing. Just pledge allegiance to the flag. All right, 14. Look, we're 10 points away from being over. Take judicial notice of 15 USC 78 DD-1. Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of 1998. There you go. That was the anti-bribery statement. I couldn't remember it. Remember FCPA, Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Anti-bribery statements also required. Done. Just made it a simple, short statement. Take judicial notice of 15 USC 78 DD-1, Foreign Corrupt Practices Act 1998. Anti-bribery statements also required. Wow. Right? And I should have made a copy, made that an exhibit. Anyway, 15. Take judicial notice of 28 USC 3002. Definitions. 15. United States means a federal corporation. Okay. 16. Take judicial notice of the fact that I am not a dependent employee or officer of United States, a federal corporation, United States, a federal corporation, nor any of its subsidiaries, such as State of Hawaii, nor any of State of Hawaii's subsidiaries or departments, such as County of Maui, or any judiciary courts thereof. Right? And if you're going to say that I am, then bring a witness that says that I am. They can't, because I'm not a dependent employee or officer. Right? Okay. Therefore, those statutes do not apply, because those apply to dependents, employees, and officers. Not saying I have license to break the law, because I don't. Right? No one is beyond the law. That the big thing that has been up with Trump and so forth, and it's absolutely true. No one, including the judges, are beyond the law. No man is beyond the law. Right? The common law. And the common law, my friends, harsh. Oh, really, really, really harsh. You don't get dressed up in orange and wear peanut butter for a lot of the offenses that I was in with those guys. In the common law, the penalty is death. Rape, death. Murder, death. Believe it or not, Saturday Night Sketch. Believe it or not, bearing false witness against your neighbor, death. Breaking one of the major commandments, one of those, the Big Ten, breaking one of those, you can be put to death for that. Anyway, kidnapping, death. Cattle rustling, death. Right? Stealing a man's means, right? Arson, death. Right? It's not wear orange. Pedophilia, death. Abortion, death. That's under the common law. Okay. And see, people have figured out that these demons are in control, these Satan-worshipping idiots. And now they're out in the open. It's not even a big deal. You can go, there's plenty of channels here on YouTube. They absolutely tell you that they worship Satan. I met a guy he was a foot soldier of the Illuminati, is what he called himself. He was a heroin addict, interesting dude, older gentleman, had put children through college, had paid for his house, had no patience for heroin addicts that used heroin as an excuse. And we had some very interesting, because he was a full-on Luciferian, the whole nine. Drank the blood, actual blood, had been to the services, anyway, interesting individual. Had respect for me because I did not renounce the Christ, the Jesus. I got a little issue with the Jesus, but the Christ consciousness and the Christ, I'm absolutely all about the Christ. And it didn't shake my faith at all to spend time with these idiots I won't call them idiots, these misguided souls in the Maricopa County jail system. Because a lot of those guys, good guys, but just deceived. Anyway, let's see here. Take judicial notice of the Foreign Affairs Manual. There you go. Official government website. Links provided. So here we go. 17. This is huge. Generally, these endorsements, see, because what you're going to need is an endorsement, and you want endorsement number 9. Number 9. Is that number 9? Number 9. Number 9. You want endorsement number 9, which is American national, not U.S. citizen. You are an American national. Anyway, all right. Take judicial notice of the Foreign Affairs Manual. Official government website. Links provided. I actually gave them links to the website. Generally, these endorsements will describe the applicant's or sponsor's new official or diplomatic assignment and will be entered into specific issuance, official diplomatic service or no fee, regular passports, etc. Right? Because when you do them, you don't pay fees when you're working for the as a diplomat. Anyway, to request an endorsement to an issued passport, the applicant must submit Form DS, write this down, DS 4085. Real simple. Just put Form DS 4085 and our buddy Google will show it to you. Miscellaneous services and appropriate documentation of the change. All right, and the website is https:// you know that. FAM.state.gov. I'll just put them down below. How's that? Rather than read this thing. Please take judicial notice of the table on this page, which is the online version of the Foreign Affairs Manual. And that's https FAM state gov FAM 08 FAM /08 05 5002.html #M505_2. Okay. Endorsement number 9, to wit, the bearer is a United States national and not a United States citizen. Bing! So they were trying to tell me that my argument was specious. No, it was not specious. And I pray every day when this bus comes back and drops these poor children that are in the meat grinder. I'm in Hawaiian homes, so even worse, these children are being, right? Anyway, in our state, if you look up Hawaii, anyway, endorsement number 9 is the one you want. So it's placed in a passbook book issued to a U.S. national who is not a citizen. And I noticed this is cut and pasted. U.S. national is not capitalized. It's just U.S. is capitalized, U.S. National who is not a citizen. Okay, you're not a citizen of the corporation. Unless you tell them that you are and you want to vote and, right, vote really hard. Okay. U.S. national will be printed instead of USA on the front of the passport card. Prior to the creation of this endorsement, that's the passport card, not on the passport book. Prior to the creation of this endorsement in 1992, the bearer's status as a non-citizen U.S. national is indicated by circling the word national or crossing out the word citizen in the secretary's message on the signature page of the U.S. passport. I should have one, but I'm not going to bother showing that. 17.1. Further take judicial notice of 8 U.S.C. Section 1101. That's 8 U.S.C. Section 1101. Told you this is the nutrient-dense video you've got here. Look all this stuff up. Do not cut and paste if you don't know what it means. Definitions particularly, right? Okay, so 8 U.S.C. Section 1101 is definitions, particularly down all the way down to 21. The term national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. I was born in Illinois. I owe permanent allegiance to that state. Can't get out of it unless you want to do naughty things and break your oath. Because you're kind of, if you're a man born in one of the states, you owe allegiance and you need to defend that state and defend your fellows and defend. You got that Second Amendment right against all enemies, foreign and domestic, whether you're in the military or National Guard or not, right? You have a sacred duty and honor by your birth. And I know you didn't choose where you were born. And some people are like, well, I didn't choose this, so I'm reneging my allegiance. Well, that's your funeral. Okay, section 22. The term national of the United States means A, a citizen of the United States, or B, a person who, though not a citizen of the United States, owes permanent allegiance to the United States, comma, an American national. 17.2, the living man, Ben Jose Rogers, spelled :Ben, all lowercase, hyphen HOSEA, ROGERS, owes allegiance to Illinois, the place of my birth, and is an American national. 17.3, take judicial notice of this maxim of law. No man can renounce the country in which he was born, nor abjure the obligation of his allegiance. Done. That's a maxim of law. All right? You're in for a penny, in for a pound. And that's co.little 129. You can look it up. Sed vide, allegiance, expatriation, and naturalization. 18. Take judicial notice of 8 USC 1481, 22 CFR 92.12 through 92.31. Documents require notary. 22 USC, they don't notarize their documents. 22 USC Chapter 11, public officials equal foreign agents. 28 USC 3002, United States equals corporation. DUNS number. Here's the DUNS number for the United States. Remember, I had a really hard time getting this. I got it, though. United States DUNS number 052714196. One more time. That's 052714196. That's the DUNS number, the Dun and Bradstreet number for the United States. Or excuse me. See, I gave them the that they don't deserve. It's just United States, all caps. Doesn't sound like the United States of America, does it? But they knew that we would be fooled by United States. Close enough, right? United States, a Delaware company, founded by the papacy, by the way, in Delaware in 1871. Okay, 22 USC 612, registration statement, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of 1977, as amended. 15 USC section 78 DD-1, which is the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. And finally, HRS 601-15, that's HRS is Hawaii Revised Statutes, section 601-15, style of process, equals the state of Hawaii in caps. Or excuse me, in title case, not in caps. Just the is capitalized, state is capitalized, just the first letters of Hawaii. And by the way, of is not capitalized. So you may see documents where they put state of Hawaii and they capitalize the S, the O, and the H. They're funning you, right? They use grammar fair and lawfare against us. Anyway, any other interesting stuff? Nope. Okay. Am I going too fast? Am I not going fast enough? And the wind has died down, so hopefully it's not blowing. Take judicial notice of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Okay, so on my document, and I don't have it here, I put a dollar stamp and I put the round international stamp because I mentioned the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights here in 19. Therefore, I need that stamp, which I canceled on the front of my document. One, it gives my document value, and two, it makes it acceptable in international and in international courts like the UPU, and the fact that it's basically international because each one of the states is its own nation, right? Its own country. And Washington, D.C. is also its own country, which is foreign to the other states. Now here, I know this, I used to teach insurance law. The states are foreign to each other. Nations are alien to each other, right? But because we're under one confederation, we're not alien to each other or foreign to each other. Hawaii is alien to Japan. And an insurance company in Japan would be alien to Hawaii or to a Hawaiian insurance. A California insurance company would be foreign to us. A corporation that's in one of the other states is foreign to us. So the states, which have turned into corporations, they've all been incorporated, are foreign to each other. They're not alien to each other. Okay, that's rather important. Okay, take judicial notice of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. The United States is a signatory as of 5 October 1977 and ratified the covenant on 8 June 92. Shoot, I should have put 1992. Anyway, the judicial notice in particular, take judicial notice in particular of Article 1, Section 1. We all have the right to self-determination. I have determined that I'm an American national, and can prove same with that birth certificate. No one, which is basically hearsay, though, just so you know, that birth certificate is hearsay. And you weren't there, so, you know, if your mom and dad aren't alive and can't swear a little statement for you that says that where you were born with a notary under penalty of perjury, it's hearsay, right? Because that thing isn't notarized. It's not, right? It's just a document. Anyway, no one can make any determination for me. Calling me a sovereign citizen is slander. So if they don't rebut this, and they haven't, where is my little cursor here? There we go. All right. Take judicial notice of, I just did that. Take judicial notice of Hawaii Revised Statutes, section 710-1016, 710-1016, impersonating a public servant. The object of this section is to prevent imposition on people by the false pretense of authority. Previous Hawaii law recognized the offense of false personation of a government official and imposed a possible maximum sentence of 1 year's imprisonment or a fine of $100. So no big deal, petty misdemeanor, but still, you're not supposed to pretend like you have authority when you don't. And if you don't have an oath of office and you don't have your foreign agent registration statement and you don't have your anti-bribery statement, you're personating. 22, take judicial notice of the fact that I have seen no evidence of oath of office, foreign agent registration statements, anti-bribery statements, nor agency agreements. Is that a period? It's supposed to be a comma. Nor agency agreements between plaintiff and prosecutor or between me, myself, Ben Hosea, and any attorney or evidence I have given power of attorney to any employee or officer or any evidence of any contract which leads me to believe you are acting outside of your authority and personating judicial officers. See point 18 above. Let's go back to point 18 above, which is, again, take judicial notice of 8 U.S.C., that's the one that has various ones, right? 8 U.S.C. 1481, 22 CFR 92.12 through 92.31. Documents require notary, right? Their documents are not notarized. 22 U.S.C. Chapter 11, public officials equal foreign agents. 28 U.S.C. 3002, United States equals corporation, with the DUNS number that I read to you, 052-714-196. Section 22 U.S.C. 612, registration statement. The Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of 1977 as amended. 15 U.S.C. Section 78 DD1 et sec, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, and Hawaii Revised Statutes, Section 601-15, style of process, the state of Hawaii. So see, I'm cross-referencing, right? So look above, look below. All right, let's see here. Now, huge. 23. This one is kind of important. Take judicial notice of Trinzi versus Pagliaro. And that's Trinsey. That's easy. Trinzi v. Pagliaro. I believe that's how you'd pronounce it, right? The G is silent. Pagliaro. Pagliaro. 22.9 F.SUP 64 or 647 in parentheses E period D period PA 1964. That is how the Supreme Court cited this case. This case has been cited over and over and over again. And what that says is basically 23.1. Take judicial notice that an attorney for the plaintiff cannot admit evidence into the court. He is either an attorney or a witness. Did you catch that? Did I go too fast? An attorney for the plaintiff. And the plaintiff is State of Hawaii in all caps, which has no thumbs and fingers, so they don't have an agency agreement. So how has he got an agency agreement? And how is he being an attorney for the plaintiff? How is the State of Hawaii a plaintiff? A fictional dead entity? An attorney for the plaintiff cannot admit evidence into the court. The attorney can't admit evidence. A witness can admit evidence. He can admit evidence for a witness, but he can't admit evidence himself. He is either an attorney or a witness. And 23.2, take judicial notice where there are no depositions, admissions, or affidavits, the court has no fact to rely on for a summary judgment. So if he didn't put any depositions in and he doesn't have any admissions or affidavits, What are they using? They have no evidence against you. Get it? Okay, so you got to put your stuff in, not as an affidavit, but as a deposition. And if you do put your affidavit in, make sure you use the terms, this is testimony in the form of an affidavit. But better yet, make it a deposition. Sign it in front of a notary. Okay, now you've got evidence that you can enter into the court. Because if you just do affidavits, those are oaths and so forth, but they are not evidence, which is why they were able to say there was no evidence of stuff that happened back in November. Because there wasn't evidence of. There was only people putting in affidavits. They weren't putting in depositions. Excuse me. Why? Because they didn't want evidence to go in because the war is against the bar, my friends. And this is why they're so crazy to keep certain people out of certain offices. Let's see here. Take judicial notice that an attorney for the plaintiff cannot. I just said that. Is it 23.2? Take judicial notice that where there are no depositions, admissions, or affidavits, the court has no facts to rely on. Okay. Take 23.3. Take judicial notice that the court stated that statements of counsel in their briefs or arguments, while enlightening to the court, are not sufficient for purposes of granting a motion to dismiss or summary judgment. So they cannot get a judgment for, say, what was my charge? My charge is, again, because I'm in front of the camera. What is it? Custodial interference in the first degree. By the way, never sign the pleas. First, it was custodial interference in the first degree. Then it was custodial interference in the second degree. And their documents riddled with problems. It's just state versus what state as on the plea agreement. But if you sign the plea agreement, they got you. And then they finally came down to misdemeanor. No, I'm not paying you to, and I'm not pleading guilty to exercising a right. I didn't need permission of a woman to travel to another state, period. And the boy wanted to be with me. And they've done everything they can to make sure that he's not hurt. Right? Because he's only 18, and because he's not 18, he's only 17 and a half, he can't get a notary. So he can't get any documents in the court. Right? So we got around that. And the way to get around that is to have somebody else see his documents, see that he signed them, attest that he was the one that made the document. Then they put in a deposition, and then they take that deposition and put it into a public registry, and now it's noticed to the world, and they can't keep the record out of court because he sent my boy, being clever and trying to be clever, he sent in a long statement to the court, and the court just said, "Oh, we can't see this. It's ex parte." Literally smiled at me when she did it. Let's see here. So 23.4 is, therefore, take judicial notice of Exhibit E, marked in red and highlighted in yellow, entered as evidence of fictitious conveyance of language, fraudulent conveyance of language, violations of 18 U.S.C. 1001 and 18 U.S.C. 1341 and 1342. Stop and correct errors or be held liable. Notes errors as follows. All right, let's get this thing out and go over it. Almost done. We're at 20. What are we at? 23. There's only 25 points only. But like I said, you guys sending in 100-point letters that are 1,000 pages long, that don't. I mean, yeah, but no. Let's see here. What do you do with that? Should be here someplace. Oh, and here's the other thing. See, I put the stamp there on a lot of the exhibits to give them weight. But also, these don't have them because this is a copy before I did it. But also, notice the stamps there. And on the original, the document that I put in, it will have 3 because I put in one more on the 19th. So I put it in on the 22nd of July, the 5th of August, and so this also keeps track of how many times they've seen a document. Anyway, on the like I said, this is just copies. On the actual original, every single page has a stamp on it with my signature and signature through it and the date. And every single page has a thumbprint with my name and copyright copy claim. Okay, where is the red one? There it is. So let's go through this one at a time. Don't blow away. All right. Let's go through this point by point. Oh, and then the other thing you can do, copyright the name. Notice what I've done. I have a copyright for Ben Jose Rogers. By the way, it's notarized, so this is the real deal. It's also for Crouton Ramon, right? So I have a copyright for Crouton Ramon. So don't you guys be using my Crouton Ramon because I got a copyright on it, and don't be using Ben Jose Rogers because I got a copyright on that. So now every document they send me from this day forward, which was the 19th of August, I can enforce a copyright claim. And here, I'll just read this on here. The validity of our service. This is French, by the way. I had to go all the way to France to get this. The validity. Been talking too much. I'm almost done. Where are we at? Like we're going on 2 hours, I'm sure, or maybe even 3 hours. Except I can't find my mouse. There it is. Let's see here. What's it say? How long have we been recording? 1 hour and a half. Actually, that's not too bad. I've had 3-hour videos before, so we're doing okay on time. And like I said, go back and watch this at 2 times speed. You may need to watch it a couple times because how many billion sites, that's pidgin English, many sites, and look them all up and read them. All those USCs, read them. And then you might want to read a little bit about copyright law. But anyway, the validity of our services is based on the legal dispositions regarding data and information exchange via internet between people, companies, and countries. Canada was given a data protection level equivalent to the European norm EC Directive 95-/46. The main countries using our service are France, Belgium, Swiss, Canada, and United States, but are not limited to those. Our service is valid in most countries. In fact, more than 177 countries, which correspond to the signatory parties of the Berne Convention. Now you got to go look up the Berne Convention. New countries are added regularly. You can consult it on the WIPO website. But anyway, this is copyright. Notice it says by Ben Jose with my thumbprint and my signature and my name, the real man there, right? And this doesn't have it, but the 3, remember I told you I made a video about this, 3 things you need: wet ink signature, thumbprint, and seal. Right, and I didn't bring my raised seal out here, but when I put that in, I have the raised seal, right? Okay, so every time they use my name from here on out, 15,000 in specie of silver, right? Silver dollars, which works out to about $300,000 because what silver's around $19-20 right now. Which is, there's another thing we got to talk about. I can talk about all day. Silver, get you some silver. Oh God, get you some silver. For the love of God, get some silver. Even if you just buy like a roll of dimes for $100, I mean, but get yourself some silver. It's never going to be cheaper than what we got going on now. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know how well, but I'm still here. Like I said. Let's see here. And again, folks that's saying hi, if you can restore your Patreons, because they're gonna kick me off Patreon eventually, or just send me like just $5 on PayPal. This knowledge, and I'm gonna put more links underneath. I'm telling you, all these different websites I go to, the guys all know it, but they don't lead with it. The lead should be, oh, by the way, they don't have foreign agent registration statements. They don't have under the what do you call it? They don't have their anti-bribery statements. But never mind that, they don't have oaths of office. That's why you can't sue their bond. They don't have an oath of office. They're doing private business and making you think that it's one thing when it is another. All right, so number 1. I find no Ronson Estibarra 9510. I do find Ronson Surura Ibarra 009510. It is my belief that in this matter, the plaintiff's attorney is using a name not found on the roll of attorneys and has not appeared in his official capacity while using a nom de guerre instead. There it is. See, and I even highlighted it for him so that no can miss. And then I did it again over here on the back. And that's the other thing. He's giving me documents that are two-sided. Since when you've seen legal documents that are two-sided? paperwork production, my butt. It's always one-sided because you're supposed to be able to put your stamps and other stuff on the back for each page that you send. Anyway, okay, let's see here. Let's see, Hawaii State Bar Association, and see, it's not my opinion. It's the Hawaii State Bar Association Attorney Lookup, Alakea Corporate Tower, 1100 Alakea Street, Suite 1000, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. And see, I should have put Honolulu, Oahu, Hawaii, but oh well. Okay. Number 2, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, County of Maui, Wailuku, Maui, Hawaii, 96793. This is not a proper address. It is not the same as Deputy Prosecuting Attorney, 150 South High Street, and I say Old Courthouse Building, Wailuku, Hawaii, 96793. Violation of 18 U.S.C. 1342, fictitious name and address. There it is in black and white, folks. Right? He just put, that's not a real address. Right? The real address should have 150 South High Street and Old Courthouse Building. Okay. Let's see here. Number 3, State of Hawaii is not labeled as plaintiff. Notice how it just says State of Hawaii. Does it say plaintiff under there? They labeled me as defendant. Right? But they didn't label that as plaintiff. Why not? Oh, because Claire, I'm sure. They just so stop and correct it. And, And how does State of Hawaii have an agency agreement with this attorney? And he says right there, attorney for State of Hawaii. It doesn't say the State of Hawaii in caps like it said at number 5. Okay, so wait, we're getting ahead of the game. Number 4, Ben H. Rogers is not the same as Ben H. Rogers. That sounded the same in them sonas, but how come my last name is bolded? Oh, because it's off the page. So I just put number 4. Why bold? And it just says here, right? A derivative of Ben Hosea Rogers, which is now copyrighted, which has been copyrighted and is short for Ben Hosea Rogers Estate, right? Ben Hosea Rogers is short for Ben Hosea Rogers, estate. That's who that is. And you're supposed to be defending that estate. But I'm not defending the estate. I'm acting as the executor and beneficiary. And as executor, I should be appointing trustees, and they defend the estate. I'm not the trustee. The trustee defends the estate for the executor. Go learn some, and this is the thing, trust law, you can spend your whole life doing trust law. Anybody that tells you that they know everything about trust law, they're liars, because there's so damn much when it comes, there's so many constructive trust and beneficial trust, and there's like, I think 89 different kinds of trusts, or 100 and something, maybe it's 189, I don't remember, but I mean, there's many kinds of trusts with all kinds of different foibles that you need to know about. Okay. Let's see here. You are administering the estate absent contract or consent, either publicly or privately, acting as executor and or beneficiary. You, court and officers, are trustees, not beneficiaries or executors. Bam. Number 5. What's number 5 over here? Number 5, there's that where I put attorney for the State of Hawaii is not the same as attorney for State of Hawaii, all caps, and I put he State of Hawaii because I left the T off. Typo. See Hawaii Revised Statutes, hereafter HRS 601-15. Style of process. The style of process, see, I already told him this once. I'm telling it to him again. The style of process in the state courts shall run in the name of the State of Hawaii, and all prosecutions shall be carried out in the name of and by the authority of the State of Hawaii. And I put all the links and stuff. Okay, your state has the same. Whatever state you're in, Texas, Illinois, Florida, you all have style of process in somewhere in your revised statutes or in your Constitution. In Arizona, it's in the Constitution, and it's like Section 25. Okay, number 6, in the family court of the Second Circuit or Second Circuit is not the same as Maui's Second Circuit Court. In the family court of the Second Circuit or Second Circuit is not the proper name of the court. Unknown tribunal. We don't know what tribunal is this. This one right here, right? Where it says in the family court of the Second Circuit. So that's number 6 that I just read to you, right? And I just put unrecognized tribunal. And then he sent another document like this through the mail. Oh my God. universal postal system, here I come. First, I got to go to the postmaster here in Wailuku, who is going to be a dork and not do anything about it. And I was going to say, if you're not going to do anything about it, no problem. I'm just going to kick it up to the Universal Postal Service, the UPU. Okay, State of Hawaii is a dead fictional entity. I respectfully demand to see any agency agreement between Ronson Surya Ibarra and State of Hawaii. Cannot face or confront State of Hawaii as required by supreme law of the land. That would be the 6th, right? Okay. Number 8, case ID and electric file case number, right, do not match, because this one over here says that. I don't care if you got the case ID or not. And by the way, they wrote bonds on this. You can go look it up in the Treasury Direct account and under the the other one. I'll put the links there. But anyway, there's 2 places and you'll find that they rate bonds on this, right? And the chances of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 digit code just happened to be created back in October and being the same is astronomical, in the billions, right? So anyway, that one's not the same as the other one that they gave me, which has that, except it's got a 4 there. Okay, continue. So like I said, just destroy the documents. They gave you documents with which to take them down with. All right, 9, states is not the same as State of Hawaii or even State of Hawaii, right? Excuse me, states, and that's this right here, where it just says states, opposition. What state, right? States is not the same as the State of Hawaii, which it would be the style of process, or even State of Hawaii, all caps, which is what that says right there. That's the corporation, right? Which also has its own DUNS number. Okay. Oh, and then notice this very subtle thing, right? And what that is, and he did it all through the document, but I only just did the first page. He put quotations around it off the page, right? So in numerous places on here, he put the quotes around stuff and put it in quotations. So I just let him know that I could do the whole document, and every time he put quotes in, it's not the same, right? All caps exhibits 1 through 5 with the quotations is not the same as title case exhibit 1 through 5. Got to learn how to read. 11, documents not signed under penalty of perjury is not evidence since plaintiff's counsel absent agents agreements. Plaintiff is counsel absent agency agreement and not a witness. See points 23 through 23.3, right? And again, what did I put up there? It says documents got to be notarized. This document was not notarized, and it wasn't even sworn under perjury, so it wasn't an unsworn statement, which could be taken under Title 28 USC 1746 2, which is what they're going to be. We are 1, they are 2. Go look it up. 28 USC 1746. You got the time. You're obviously on a computer. Tappity tap tap tap. You got it. All right. Now that was 23. See, that was 23.4, right? Let's start here. All righty. Now 24. Take judicial notice of my copyright. I just showed it to you. But I'm telling them, take judicial notice of the copyright. Description, Ben Hosea Rogers is an original expression created on or about March 7th, right? My birthday, which all rights reserved, including but not limited to all derivatives, variations in the spelling, abbreviating, upward, lowercase rendering, and writing, and may not be used without express prior written consent. Available for review at copyrightdepot.com. From this day forward, those who use this copyright without express written permission from the copyright holder will be held liable for up to 15,000 US silver dollars, payable in the equivalent of Federal Reserve notes. Ben Hosea Rogers owns the copyright, registered publicly at copyrightdepot.com. See Exhibit F. There it is. Nice big letters, Exhibit F. And the Ben Hosea Rogers is written colon, B-E-N, all lowercase, hyphen, H-O-S-E-A, colon, R-O-G-E-R-S. The living man, the person talking to you now, right? Simple math, logic, and reasoning. All men can be persons, but not all persons are men. Apple Computer is not a man. Copyright Depot would be considered a person if they're a corporation. You can be a person, but if you look through all of our law, you will not see the words man, woman, son, daughter. You'll see the word child. Yeah, but you won't see, you'll see person. And what was the definition of person? Go back to 1 USC 1. It's an infant. So you want to not be an infant. You want to be able to speak for yourself, which is why this document is titled. Let's go back up and read the title. Motion for judicial notice, motion for right to be heard. There you go, right to be heard. Go look up right to be heard. It's one of the most fundamental rights, right? Common law right. So common that they didn't, right? And this is the thing with the common law. Nobody wrote it down because the common law is supposed to be common and self-evident, right? Don't murder people, right? They shouldn't have to tell you that and write that down in common law. Don't steal, don't kidnap, don't rape women, don't or men for that, or children, or anybody. Shouldn't be up for no, right? And the idea is that the common law is the law of the land among us, and we have gotten away from the common law, and we suffer for it. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea. All right. So 24. I just did my copyright. Oh, by the way, my copyright number is 00075332-1 for Ben Hosea, and it's the same except 5333-1 for Crouton Ramon. All right, and you know what I should have been? D100th Monkey. I should do that one too, just for giggles. Anyway, let's see here. So I showed you Exhibit F. Now 25, and see, there's not even a whole bunch of 25.1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 25. 25. We are at the end of this, and I'm going to call it quits on this one. Oh, I'm going to read one more thing before I call it quits. But take judicial notice that the Constitutions noted here are clear. We all have the right to face our accusers, confront witnesses, and when arrested, review the judicial warrants involved, which must include a sworn affidavit from a witness with first-hand knowledge of the matter. There must be an injured party. Warrant should be issued within 72 hours of arrest. I have repeatedly demanded before, but have never seen any such documents. Plaintiff not only has failed to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, plaintiff also has no agency agreements, no oaths of office, no FARA statements, no anti-bribery statements, no judicial authority, and is, until proven otherwise, in fact, a foreign agent acting under color of law in violation of numerous statutes. Further, this is the meat and potatoes of it. Further, take judicial notice of the fact that plaintiff has never proven that I am a dependent employee or officer of any corporation that would make me subject to statute, nor that plaintiff has authority to invoke judicial power prohibited by the 11th Amendment, nor that he can act in any capacity other than trustee and is administering Ben Hosea Rogers' estate without consent or contract, and seems to believe that plaintiff has the right to determine my status for me. Plaintiff does not. See point 19 above. What was point 19? Point 19 was, I can already tell you, the one I told you was so important, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, right? United States is a signatory, etc. Okay, and then take notice, especially of section 1.1, where it basically says, did I not put it in there? Yes, I did. Oh no, I didn't. But anyway, the first section, point 1, we have the right to self-determination. Period. All right, just about finished. All right, based on the above facts and evidence, not because of some specious sovereign citizen argument, see point 17 above, I formally challenge this administrative court's jurisdiction. Burden of proof is upon the plaintiff court. He who affirms must prove. That's a maxim of law. Simply saying you have jurisdiction. Oh, we got jurisdiction. Sure I do. I got an agency. Yeah, sure I do. I have foreign registration statements. Look, you can't see them, but I got them. That's what they were doing to Trump, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this stuff's top secret, so you can't see it, but it exists." No, it didn't. Anyway, simply saying you have jurisdiction, unsworn statements of counsel, geez, with a closed parenthesis, but there's no open parenthesis, does not prove jurisdiction. Oaths, evidence, and statements sworn under penalty of perjury are required. Oaths, evidence, and statements sworn under penalty of perjury in front of a notarized. And I should have put that. That should say oaths, evidence, and statements sworn under penalty of perjury in front of a notary are required. But anyway, those acting beyond their authority capacity will be held liable. I'm going to hold them liable, and I'm going to be paid. Simple as that. But yeah, they're supposed to be notarized. Their documents are supposed. We got to notarize. They got to notarize. We got to swear under penalty of perjury. They got to swear under penalty of perjury. Not on penalty of law. Not under some other thing. Under penalty of perjury. Otherwise, they just acting. That's all they are. Is foreign agents acting. Okay. But they got the guns and clubs. Don't forget that part. Right? So I could protest all I wanted, but they still dragged me away, put me in chains, threw me in the back of a squad car, threw me in cold rooms, did cruel and unusual punishment, fucked with me for months. Never bothered, right? And I have other documents, which I'll be bringing out later, that show while I was in jail, asking for their, excuse me, can I say, but see that it was COVID, so we couldn't go to the court, right? They violated our due process rights because, couldn't go to court because of COVID. Anyway, so the last part of this is motion for right to be heard. Motion for right to be heard. I respectfully demand my right to be heard, which includes entering and reading notarized affidavits and any testimony in the form of an affidavit, as well as depositions, public records, judicial notice, etc., into the public record and or record of this case and the record of the Maui Second Circuit Court. That's the name of it. It's not family court. It's not Maui Family Court. It's not in the Maui Family Court. It's Maui Second, and it's not just Second Circuit Court. The name of the court is Maui Second Circuit Court. Okay, 28 USC 1746-1. See, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct, executed on 19 August 2022. Alrighty, and then this document, it's got a by, because you're going to put by and your autograph, and then underneath it, the colon name. Most of the people that I see, they're not crazy like me. They want to put, they do it capital B-E-N, capital H-O-S-E-A, capital R-O-G-E-R-S. I do it all lowercase, like E.E. Cummings. Remember E.E. Cummings? E.E. Cummings, all lowercase. Anyway, so mine underneath my by and thumbprint and raised seal, American National, without prejudice, all rights reserved, executor, beneficial, equitable title holder for Ben Jose, not as, for Ben Jose Rogers, copyright, I put my copyright in there, Ben H. Rogers, and colon, Ben Jose Rogers, comma, estate. That was my document. That document made a judge that's been messing with me for months go, and suddenly she's not the judge anymore. Suddenly, I've been reassigned to another courtroom. Let's see here. Ah, look, you guys going. Let's see, what else does it say? Yep, there you go. Civil and political rights, section 1.1, exactly. Let's see here. Yeah, what's not true? Oh, look, we got a troll. Yay! I've made it. I've finally stepped up. Okay. Absolutely, that's true. And how would you know? Have you been in there? Or are you right? Because basically what happened is I went to court the other day, and now the judge basically recused herself because now she has a conflict of interest. And now instead of being in courtroom 4, I'm in courtroom 3. And if you guys want to come and see what's happening Monday morning, 8:30, you can zoom in and I'll give you the number where you can join. Okay. So if you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. All right. Now let me read this. Oh, geez. Look at this. All kind of stuff on this page. Okay. The 12 presumptions of court. A Roman court does not operate according to any true rule of law, but presumptions of law. Therefore, if presumptions presented by the private bar guild are not rebutted, they become fact and are therefore said to stand true, just like I said before in the other one, or as truth in commerce. There are 12 key presumptions asserted by the private bar guilds, which, if unchallenged, stand true, being public record, right? Public service, public oath, immunity, summons, custody, court of guardians, court of trustees, government as executor beneficiary, executor de son tort. Go look that up. Executor de son tort. I'll spell it for you. Executor, spelled executor. D-E, new word. S-O-N, new word. T-O-R-T. A person who is without legal authority assumes control of a decedent's property as if he were executor. Incompetence and guilt. So, okay. Number one, presumption of the public record is that any matter brought before a lower Roman court is a matter for the public record. No, it's not. They're doing private business. When in fact it is presumed by the members of the private bar guild that the matter is a private bar guild business matter, unless openly rebuked and rejected by stating clearly the matter is to be on the public record, because otherwise you're on the private side. The matter remains a private bar guild matter completely under private bar guild rules. All right, there's 12 of these. And, oops, where was I? And the dungeon. Oh, let's see what happens. And I still don't know who the presiding judge is going to be. That's the other thing that's going to be amusing. Who's the presiding judge? They didn't tell me. All right, so let's see here. The presumption of public service. Oh, I just read that. 3, the presumption of public oath is that all members of the private bar guild acting in the capacity of public officials who have sworn a solemn public oath remain bound by that oath and therefore bound to serve honestly, impartially, and fairly as dictated by their oath. Unless openly challenged and demanded, the presumption stands that the private bar guild members have functioned under their public oath in contradiction to their guild oath. If challenged, such individuals must recuse themselves as having a conflict of interest. There's where it comes from, and cannot possibly stand under public oath. They're supposed to have those oaths to the Constitution. Go back up, and I just went through all of that in this document. And that, they have to have their public oaths. They've spelled it out clearly, plain as day, in the Judicial Notice. Number 4, the presumption of immunity is that key members of the private bar guild in the capacity of public officials acting as judges, prosecutors, and magistrates who have sworn a solemn public oath in good faith are immune from personal claims of injury and liability, unless openly challenged their oath demanded. The presumption stands that the members of the private bar guild, as public trustees acting as judges, prosecutors, and magistrates, are immune from any personal accountability for their actions. But I have removed this because I asked them for their public oath, asked them for their foreign agent registration statement, asked them for their agency agreement, and also asked them for their anti-bribery statement, all of which dictated in law. And by the way, they are U.S. citizens working over there in Washington, D.C., in the federal zone. So those laws absolutely, positively apply to them. The presumption of summons is that by custom, a summons unrebutted stands, and therefore, one who attends court is presumed to accept position, defendant, juror, witness, and jurisdiction of the court. Right? You're presumed unless you say something. Attendance to court is usually invitation by summons, unless the summons is rejected and returned with a copy of the rejection filed prior to choosing to visit or attend jurisdiction and position as the accused, and the existence of guilt stands. And the presumption of custody is that by custom or summons or warrant for arrest, unrebutted stands, and therefore one who attends court is presumed to be a thing and therefore liable to be detained in custody by custodians. This includes the dead legal fiction, non-human, all caps person that corporate government rules and regulations are written for. Custodians may only lawfully hold custody and property and things, not flesh and blood, soul possessing beings, right? Custodians may only lawfully hold custody of property, right? So you're their property. You're considered their property. In fact, there was a very interesting woman who was a Maricopa County sheriff who basically explained to me this right here, that I'm considered their property, right? And that considered the property of the state of Hawaii, that you're considered property and you haven't done anything to rebut it. And she kind of smiled because she was like thinking that I was too ignorant to figure out how to rebut it. But anyway, she literally told me this and I was like dumbfounded. This is when I was getting kicked out. Anyway, custodians may only lawfully hold custody and property and things, not flesh and blood, soul possessing beings, right? So they can't hold a living man or woman. Unless this presumption is openly challenged by rejection of summons and or at court, the presumption stands and you are a thing and property and therefore lawfully able to be kept in custody by custodians. Right? You volunteered. You never said boo. You never argued. You never put any documents in. You never put any evidence in. You may have put affidavits in, but affidavits aren't evidence, are they? Depositions are evidence. Right? Okay. The presumption of, let's see here. The presumption of court of guardians is the presumption that you, and by the way, they never summoned me. They just arrested me, and they arrested me without warrant. I've never seen a summons. So I haven't agreed to show up. I just showed up. Let's see here. Well, let's. The presumption kept in custody by custodian. Okay. The presumption 7. The court of guardians is the presumption that you may be listed as a resident or a ward of the local government, or a ward of a local government area, and have listed on your passport the letter P. You are a pauper and therefore under the guardian powers of the government, which is why a lot of guys show up with silver in their pocket to show that they're not paupers, that they have actual money, constitutional money in their pocket, at least $5 worth, or actually, I guess at least only $1 worth. So you should have one silver eagle in your pocket. Just so happens that and they would have stole it from me, but just so happens I ran downstairs because I was thinking I was just going to sign a document in there, and I didn't put silver in my pocket. So I'm a pauper that needed guiding and that needed warding. Let's see here. So let's see here. A ward of the local government area you have listed on your passport letter P, and you're a pauper and therefore under the guardian powers of the government and its agents as court of guardians. Unless this presumption is openly challenged to demonstrate that you are both a general guardian and a general executor of the matter, trust, before the court, the presumption stands and you are by default a pauper and a lunatic and therefore must obey the rules of the clerk of guardians. Oh, go look at that too. They consider you a lunatic, right? They're just so condescending. It's amazing. All right. Let's see here. The presumption of the Court of Trustees is that members of the private bar guild presume you accept the office of trustee as a public servant and a government employee just by attending the Roman court. That's why I gotta say, I put in my document, show that I'm an employee, show that I'm a public servant, show that I'm a government employee, dependent, or public servant, right? Just by attending the Roman court, such, courts are always for public trustees by the rule of the guild and the Roman system. Unless the presumption is openly challenged to state that you are merely visiting by invitation to clear up the matter and that you are not a government employee or public trustee. And one more thing, not a dependent, right? Not a dependent, not an employee, not an officer in this instance. The presumption stands if you don't rebut it, and it is assumed that one of the most significant reasons to claim jurisdiction, simply because you appeared. You showed up, so you must be in the jurisdiction, right? You stuck your face in their courtroom. It's like, okay, when you go into a embassy, are you still in Mexico? Fuck yeah, you're still in Mexico. But when you step into that embassy, once you pass the gates and the guards, you're considered to be on U.S. soil. That U.S. soil, by the way, is District of Columbia, not Texas, not Hawaii, not Montana, but District of Columbia, U.S. corporation soil. But anyway, same thing when you walk into that courtroom. You appeared in the courtroom, so you are presumed, all of these 12 presumptions that I'm reading you, that you are a pauper that you're a lunatic, that you're an infant, that you're a person, that you are a U.S. citizen, that you are subject to their jurisdiction, that you're a public servant, that you're a government employee, that you're dependent on the state, you need warding, all of that, right? And you got a lawyer on top of that, so you can't speak for yourself. You're being represented. Okay, the presumption of the government acting in two roles as executor and beneficiary is that for the matter at hand. The private guild appoint the judge magistrate in the capacity of executor, while the prosecutor acts in the capacity of beneficiary. So they're now the beneficiaries of your estate. They've swapped places with you. Hence subrogation. Because they're not the executor of your estate. You can execute your own estate, and you got to tell them that the same. They're not the beneficiary. How the hell did they get to be the beneficiary? If they are the beneficiary, then they need to show you a contract or some other piece of paper that shows how they became beneficiary. Well, they just presume this, and you don't rebut it. So they're the beneficiary, not you. Okay. So let's see here. In the capacity of beneficiary of the trust for the current matter, unless the presumption is openly challenged to demonstrate you are both general guardian and general executor of the matter before the court. That's why I have another document where I appointed the clerk and the judge as trustees. Okay, the presumption stands that you are by default the trustee, therefore you must obey the rules of the executor, who is the judge magistrate. So the judge told me directly in court one time that I'm not the trustee. And I said, who is then? Right? But by omission, she didn't say that she considered herself to be the executor, that she was executing my estate for me. She was administering my estate for me. Okay, the presumption of the executor de son tort, go look that up, I'm telling you, is that the presumption that if the accused does seek to assert their right as executor and beneficiary over the body, mind, and soul, they are acting as an executor de son tort, a false executor. I'm the false executor, not them, right? Challenging the rightful judge as the executor. Therefore, the judge magistrate assumes the role of true executor and has the right to have you arrested, detained, fined, or forced into a psychiatric evaluation, unless this presumption is openly challenged, not only by asserting one's position as executor, as well as questioning if the judge or magistrate seeking to act as executor de son tort, the presumption stands, and a judge or magistrate of the private bar guild may seek assistance of bailiffs and sheriffs to assert their false claim. In other words, they got the guns and clubs. Don't ever forget that. The presumption of incompetence is the presumption that you are at least ignorant of the law, therefore incompetent to present yourself and argue properly. Therefore, the judge, magistrate, or executor has the right to have you arrested, detained, fined, forced into psychic evaluation, unless this presumption is openly challenged to the fact that you know your position as executor and beneficiary and actively rebuke and object to any contrary presumptions. Then it stands by the time of pleading that you are incompetent, then the judge or magistrate can do what they need to keep you obedient. That's what they're trying to do to me, scare the slave back in the pen, right? Keep you an obedient slave. The presumption, and you are a slave, oh my God, you are, so go look at the 14th Amendment. Anyway, you're the Duracell in the Matrix. Okay, 12, the presumption of guilt is the presumption that as it is presumed to be a private business meeting of the bar guild, you are guilty whether you plead guilty, do not plead, or plead not guilty. Therefore, unless you either have previously prepared an affidavit of truth or a motion to dismiss with extreme prejudice onto the public record, or call a demurrer, then the presumption is that you are guilty of the private bar guild, and they can hold you until a bond is prepared or guarantee the amount the guild wants to profit from you, taking it out of your estate without your consent or knowledge, right? And it's the GMEI utility. Go look that thing up. Then you can go see all the different bonds they wrote on you. Okay. How long was that? 2 hours already. Holy crap. Okay, 13 likes, some people watching. Like I said, go back and watch this thing at 2 times speed or 1.5 or 1.75. Don't take my word for it. I'm some guy on the internet, right? So don't take my word for anything. Go read all that stuff. I'll put crap tons of links under there eventually. So come back to this video. I'm not going to get it all done today, but I will, cut and paste links left and right in there. You can look up those links. I suggest you read them. A lot of times you watch the video, you got to watch it once or twice because the videos that I'm going to put below, not this video. So you can get a understanding of what these people are talking about, because there's been a couple of videos. There's a great one. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put it there because thank you. I appreciate that. $5, please. Or even $1. I'm serious. I need Patreon like a motherfucker. I need PayPal, etc. And see, I refuse to leave the battlefield, and people think, oh, you're a plant or something because you're still on YouTube and everybody good's been kicked off of YouTube, which is true. But I still try to stay on here and try not to talk about things that will get me in trouble, because there's a huge amount of things I want to talk about. I'm going to have to get a BitChute channel. I got kicked off of BitChute. How's that? So the Crouton Ramon is on BitChute, but not the 100 Monkey. The 100 Monkey has been silenced. Can't make a comment, can't make a video, can't do anything for commenting on a video. And they 86 me. And BitChute's supposed to be the free speech. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I can't make videos on this computer. I've explained this to you before, because the dork that I gave this computer to fix, he put in a 250 gig hard drive instead of a 500 gig hard drive. So I can't make a video. The hard drive is already crammed. I've been deleting stuff left and right. But I can't make a video on this that's like 2 or 3 hours and then upload it because there's no space on the hard drive. So I need to get another computer. And what I'm going to do is I found a lovely computer for like $400, but I'm using the money for other things at the moment. But for like $400, I can get a used Apple like this. That's got like a terabyte hard drive, 16 gigs RAM, optical drive, everything, 2-year warranty, eBay, our lovely friends at eBay, for like $4.99. But at the moment, between everything else that's going on, I don't have the $4.99 to go order that. So eventually I'll get on BitChute and we can talk about stuff like this and stuff like, when you were doing the thing that you do sometimes and then they stole it. Anyway, that stuff we can't talk about. The other thing I want to talk about real quick on here, find out about W4 sandwiches. I'll put a link below, but also find out about this guy, Archaics. He, if you're interested in the hidden history and the reason why, like even on this island, we have huge fields of red dirt. Where did that red dirt come from? And it's around the planet. It rains dirt every 138 years or so. The next one I've talked about is 2046 or 2040. There's going to be some chaos. You need to prepare. But Tartaria and the mud floods and so forth, and all these not even ancient, all these recently very cool buildings that have been buried in dirt. Anyway, Archaics, exactly. That guy's excellent. And he's got a great following, and he deserves it because he's done his freaking research. And a lot of that time, see, while I was sitting in jail, I read and I read and I read and it was awesome, right? And I did a lot of healing. If you've got an Maui, go see Maui, right? Because nobody uses their real names. They just called me Maui. Anyway, so I have yet another nickname, right? Known by many names. The 100 Monkey, mostly. And Crouton Ramon. And of course, the all caps name. But anyway, it's great. But the idea being is that the guy spent huge amounts of time doing research and reading old books because his library had cool stuff in it. We just had tablets in jail over there in Arizona, but an amazing amount of stuff. So in that I wound up reading the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, over again. I read a whole bunch of Buddhist literature, like huge amounts. I read a lot of the Quran, but I didn't get through that because holy crap, that's a lot of reading. But I read a bunch of Buddhist and literature because they had different religious texts, and I love it. Gosh, the Hawaiian homes. They're throwing Hawaiian reggae. Anyway, and it's cool here too because like in the evenings, this is Friday. There's going to be parties. The Hawaiians, they could give a shit about and doing that. They get together, they hug, they party, they have a good time. Baby luau's. Just a week ago, Saturday, they had a family reunion. They took up the whole park. I thought it was a freaking swap meet because of all the tents and everything, but it was just one Hawaiian family reunion. And they have them, and then they had like live entertainment, and then because they're Hawaiians, various families would go up and sing for everybody else because they like to play music and so on, and it was awesome. So some of them guys doing awesome falsetto. Anyway, I'm in homes on Maui, and like I said, I will be making more of these videos as time goes by. It should be a ton of fun. Like I said, you'll see because they either kill me or they don't, but they're not scaring me back in the pen. And now that I know that they don't even have oaths of office, right? Never mind foreign agent registration statements. Never mind, right? Okay, so I'm going to be able to rebut their presumption of authority and jurisdiction just by the fact that they don't have the ability to invoke judicial power under the 11th Amendment, first off. And even if they did have the foreign agent registration statements, which they don't, and their oaths of office, which they don't, the oath of office blows my mind. I still can't get over the fact that, wait a minute, you don't have an oath of office? What? And like I said, the other websites, it seems to me that should be the lead. that should be the number one thing they talk about before they start talking about subrogation and before they start talking about all this other stuff. I mean, put your Freedom of Information Act requests in and ask them, where's your oath of office? Where's your, see, because they got to answer. And you got to send it to the right person. The Attorney General, the Administrator of the Courts, the Chief Justice, because he's supposed to keep track of all the people that are under him, right? All the other justices and so forth. So foreign agent registration statement, kind of important. Anti-Bribery statement, kind of important. And not just judges and attorneys, also police officers, right? It's amazing. It's amazing. And you just presume. I just presumed. I mean, I was thinking, oh, I got him now because of foreign agent. But when I didn't answer when it came to the oath of office, what? Okay. Let's see here. I am not on Telegram. You have to have a cell phone to be on Telegram. I don't have a cell phone. I grew up in a time when the phone was connected to the wall and then you left your house, right? Oh, and see how they trained us in the old days? Rogers residence, may I help you? Or who would you like to speak to? No, it wasn't a residence. You're an inhabitant, right? I'm inhabiting Hawaiian homes. I'm not a resident of Hawaiian homes. I come from a foreign state to this place. Little cats being ridiculous. I come from a foreign place, which is Illinois, but I'm inhabiting Hawaii. I have inhabited Hawaii since I was like 4. But guess what? Constitution for state of Illinois still applies. I'm still Illinois citizen, right? Of that country called Illinois, of that nation state. And see, we have 50 little nation states all confederated together to make the Union States of the United States of America. And then they put this other thing on us in 1871 called the United States Inc., the United States Corporation. That corporation went bankrupt. See videos before, and I'll put a video down below, which shouldn't get a strike because all it is the history of all the bankruptcies that happened. And we have been bankrupt. And see, what was supposed to happen is after one bankruptcy, which I think was 1861, go back 70 years, then go forward 70 years from there, you get to 1930, and then you go from, or 1931, and then from 1931, you get to 2001. Oh, they knocked down some buildings and stuff that really, but after 3 bankruptcies, they're supposed to declare Jubilee because they pretty much pillaged this country. They've taken all the good land. They put us up as collateral. They've done everything. Okay, so generally there's a Jubilee. Well, no Jubilee was declared on September 11, 2001, was there? They all talked about something else that happened that day, and a lot of gold was stolen and so on. But the idea being is that on September 11th, there should have been a Jubilee declared. Now, we have woken up to the point where the Great Awakening is happening, people. Everything I just read, I just woke up to the fact that they need a few documents, and they need to be notarized, and they need to be on record. They need to be written down. It's their law, not ours. They wrote that law. We didn't write that law. So, and it's not even law. It's statute when you get right down to it. But anyway, those statutes apply. And we don't ever invoke those statutes. So whose fault? Oh, yeah, our fault. And we're the ones that told them that we're U.S. persons or U.S. citizens because we checked the box and signed their name to it. Although it's not, you didn't do sign, thumbprint, and raise seal, but it's a passport. And only about 6%. I can't remember the number. It's ridiculously low of have passports. So probably you did these three, though, which was the driver's license and the bank account and the voter registration. So I rescinded my voter registration February 28, 2019. And then I also I didn't put it in here because none of their damn business. I have made a power of attorney. I gave my common law wife power of attorney. And see, this is another thing. Marriage certificate. You do that marriage certificate, the state is part of your marriage and they own your kids. My mother and father were not married. The baby mama and I were not married. The baby mama's mother and father were not married. Why? They were married, but not with a marriage certificate, right? Not with a marriage license, right? Because you don't need a license to get married. And by the way, part of that reason is because my mom and dad back in the 1960s were not the same color, which is a big naughty no-no, right? Yeah. Alive and kicking. Go back and watch this thing from the beginning. Anyway, the baby mama's mother and father were not the same color back in the 60s. So yeah, they didn't do the marriage license thing, but the baby mama is one of 9. She was the grandparents were horrified. The mother's grandparents, my son's maternal grandmother, that she would be with a black man and not get married and so forth. And that, this must be just some kind of passing fling or so forth. 9 kids later, and they're not kids, because kids are suitable for sacrifice. 9 sons and daughters later, not a passing thing. And they stayed married until one of them died. In my case, my parents couldn't handle the societal pressures, let's put it that way. And but the bottom line is, for 2 generations, they haven't had a marriage license for them to come in and interlope and say that the kids are theirs. They have no contracts. Anyway, yeah, like I said, just go back, watch it 1.5, 2 times speed, whatever, and come back because I'm going to put links out the yang under here. I'll put links to videos. I'll put links to the statutes I mentioned, or some of the statutes I mentioned. I'll put links to the places where you can look up documents. I mean, anyway, there'll be a lot of links under here, but I probably won't get to it today because I'm stuck. My throat. Today, I rode the bus. I hardly ever do public transportation, but once in a while, it's a ton of fun. And I just, like, for $1, because I'm a senior citizen. They card me constantly. It's classic. It's very good for my ego, even though I feel like I look like shit. But they're like, you're not 55. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm well past 55. 55 was a while ago. Anyway, so for $1, I get to ride the bus. So, and I got to pick up a document from the prosecuting attorney that he sent through the mail that he never should have sent through the mail. Because the way I did Exhibit F, and you'll see it here when you go watch the video if you're coming in late, is the same way you'll see that the idea is that they shouldn't use the Postal Service to send fraudulent conveyance of language or fictitious conveyance of language or evidence of perjury. Anyhow, I think that is going to cover it. Like I said, if you can spare some Patreon, put me back on your Patreon, because I know I was gone for months. Well, 5 of those months I couldn't do much about. Oh, and I got a postcard from a guy that I met in there. He's just a Second Amendment, or not a Second Amendment, a First Amendment. What do they call it? There's a name for it, and I can't find his videos. But they do First Amendment checks by taking their video camera and taking them into post office and taking them into other places. And he got arrested, and he's still sitting in jail. I got out. When did I get out? I got out in like March, and he came in about the same time, maybe a little after me, but he's still sitting in there. So I'm going to let him know. These guys, they don't have they're acting on you, but like I said, they got the guns and clubs. When I was in jail, I was expecting them to let me go because I'm like, I never saw a warrant, and I asked several times, "Hey, can I see the warrant? Can I see the warrant? Can I?" What I dumbly did was when they asked for my fingerprints, I should have just said, "I'm not saying no. I'll give you my fingerprints when you show me a warrant." Instead, I just gave them my fingerprints because I figured, in fact, they don't have a warrant. I'm going to be out of here by Monday. Months later, I finally got out. Meantime, they take my son, put him back with a drunk mother. He's writing all kind of documents and so forth. When he turns 18, which is low but 7 months away, these guys are going to have he's my son, and everything I've read pretty much, and he's going to more meetings than I have. When he turns 18, they're going to have bar grievances. They're going to have A091s, criminal complaints filed. He'll be able to notarize his own documents that way. And he is more mad about this than I am. Let's put it that way, because he's 17 and full of piss and vinegar, right? Okay. And then my common law wife, she has grounds because she thought I was going to die in there. So she literally thought I was going to die in there. The 100th monkey, a little harder to kill than you might think. But so, undue emotional distress. And there's all kind of stuff. So you can go there. And again, not to mention the minor detail that none of these guys have their paperwork together, and neither can they invoke the judicial power. And they were doing private bar business, and it's going to be fun. Yeah, First Amendment audits. That's what they were. So this guy doing First Amendment audits got arrested. How's that? Anyway, and apparently he has a YouTube video channel here, and I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, go look. And here's the thing. My documents and my paperwork, if you want them, send me an email. You know how to get in touch with me. And I'll send all this stuff because I got them all scanned, and I'll send you all kind of documents and so forth. But my documents are good for shit for you. They don't work for you. You got to send your own documents. So you got to send Freedom of Information Act requests for your state, and you got to know who to send it to. And then you do the 3-step process. Send it to them the first time. They won't answer. Send it to them the second time. They're supposed to answer in 10 days, by the way. Some states it's 10, like in Hawaii it's 10. Other states it's 21. Okay, give them ample time to answer. Do 3, and then send the 3rd default notice that says, oh, and I have a place where you can have a notary presentment done, where the notary will send it for you. Very powerful. Most notaries are chicken shit. 99.999% of notaries in the United States are chicken shit. There's one guy in Texas who's doing it, but he only does it for people in Texas. There's one person in New Hampshire that'll do it for any state. There's one person in Washington that'll do it, but they only do it for Washington. But anyway, so you send that 3rd one and say, well, you defaulted. I sent you Freedom of Information Act requests twice, right? Or in Hawaii, it's the Sunshine Law. So I'm going to presume, or I'm no longer presuming, that these affidavits, which by the way, they're signed by a notary. So I didn't just send an unsworn affidavit in. I signed and I sent a affidavit signed and sworn. Oh, I'll show you this. So I'll just read this one last one. This is Exhibit A. And see, here's what I did. I did a deposition, and then I made this whole thing that I just read to you Exhibit A. So this is Exhibit A of Exhibit A, right? Because it's evidence now, right? The deposition is evidence, and the exhibit that's attached to it is also evidence. So now I've entered my documents as evidence, not just as affidavits. Okay, so under the Open Records Law, Section 91.1, I'm requesting the opportunity to inspect or obtain copies of public records for certain officers listed below, of either state of Hawaii, and the DUNS number for the state of Hawaii is 077-696, 077-696-997. The judicial courts of the state of Hawaii, all caps, DUNS number 007-121-505. Judiciary of state of Hawaii, right? And that's what it is. Judiciary of state of Hawaii. It's not the judiciary courts, it's just the judiciary of state of Hawaii. So it sounds all judicial and stuff, but they're administrative court under Article 1, not under Article 3. So they're masquerading as Article 3 courts when they're in fact Article 1 courts. DUNS number 012-648-395. The American Bar Association, definitely a private corporation. DUNS number 05057. Wait a minute. Yeah, DUNS number 050573591. I request the following public records, documents, oaths, and statements with regard to two separate court cases, and I name them here, both in the Second Circuit Court, State of Hawaii. The oath of office, State of Hawaii, Article 16, Section 4. Like I'm giving them, where it's listed. Insurance surety bond with identifying numbers. Foreign agent registration statement, 22 U.S.C. FARA, 1938. Anti-Bribery statement, 15 U.S.C. FCPA, 1998. Let's see here. Any IRS forms, 990. Certificate of participation, C17 CFR. Look it up. 17 CFR. That's the Code of Federal Regulations. 240.15C2-12. That's 17 CFR 240.15C2-12. Certified warrant for committal with signature and seal. That would be the arrest warrant. Certified orders with signature and seal. Every order that I've gotten from the court just has written, it's not signed under penalty of perjury. It's not, right? Okay. See also 8 U.S.C. 1481. See 22 CFR 92.12 through 92.31. Talked about this earlier in my judicial notice. Documents require notary. 22 U.S.C. Chapter 11. Public officials equal foreign agents. 28 U.S.C. 3002. United States is a corporation with a DUNS number 052714196. That's the corporation, United States. 22 U.S.C. 612. Registration statement. The Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. That's the FCPA, right? Of 1977, as amended, 15 U.S.C. 78 DD 1 C FCPA. Okay. Disclosure of these records is mandatory. If no record exists, please note that the Director of Courts, Attorney General, finds no such record for the particular persons, individuals listed below. Otherwise, send copies of these public records, legal oaths, certified copies of bonds, and other statements to me at the address above. Right? Pretty clear. Okay, so your address first. That's another thing. People, how to write these documents. Your address. And then the last thing, your name at the very bottom, right? So that you are the last thing on the court. That CC is on the left, right? Not on the right. The right is the creditor. The right is the man. Over here is the debtor. In the middle is the what's it called? Ecclesiastic law, right? That's a red fingerprint or thumbprint, and that's usually in purple, right? And usually the way it works is black, purple, and blue. But I just go with purple, like my buddy Prince. Study that guy. He figured a few things out. And they got rid of him also. Okay, so, and then I just asked Judiciary Courts of the State of Hawaii. I asked for all these, right? Mark Reckenwald, Chief Justice, Rick Bitchin, Judge retired, Adrian Healy, Presiding Judge, James Rouse, Presiding Judge, Ernest Lima, Chief Clerk, Rashawn DeFrancia, Chief Clerk. And then I gave the address. Then also Annie Janelle, Branch Manager, Maui County Prosecutor's Office, all these different people, right? Maui County Public Defender's Office, right? Leslie Matthews, just an attorney. Maui County Police Department, a couple of police officers that were involved here. Maui Intake Service Center, the people I have to call on Wednesdays that most often don't answer the phone. That lady there. These are all public officials that should have their paperwork in order. If there are any fees for searching or copying these records, please inform me. And if they cost more than $40, if the cost will be more than $40. However, I request a waiver of all fees and that the disclosure of the requested information is in the public interest and disclosure is mandatory, as well as required by statute upon formal request. This information is not being sought for commercial purposes. That's important to put in there. You're not going to use this information to make money somehow. Failure to disclose records subjects those responsible to legal liability. The Hawaii Open Records Law requires a response time within 10 business days. So I looked up right, so I can put that in there. Of receipt of this document, as evidenced by the handwritten certified mail number. If access to the records I request will take longer than 10 days, please contact me with information when about exactly I might expect copies or the ability to inspect requested records. If you deny any or all of this request, please cite the specific exemption you feel justifies refusal to release the information and notify me of the appeal procedure available to me under Hawaii revised statutes or regulations. Thank you for your prompt attention. And I signed it, Ben Hosea, American National, executor, beneficial equitable title holder for Ben Hosea Rogers and Ben H. Rogers. And at that time, I hadn't copyrighted my name. So anyway, they're in default as we speak, and I'm going to send them a default, a notice of default. I gave them their notice of default with opportunity to cure. That'll be next week sometime. One, like I said, the one hasn't been delivered. Right. Oh, and see, I put the number on. That's the certified mail number. And then each one of them, right? One was delivered on August 1st, and I didn't put the certified mail number there. And one was delivered the 4th of August. I didn't put this there. But on the one that I sent to them, it has two. The first one that was delivered for this one, the second one that I sent, the first one that was delivered, the second one, so that each one of them has two certified mails, right? Evidence that I had mailed them. And then the third one will have the notice of default, so that there'll be 3 certified mail numbers under each one of these. And that will be default. And in that document, which I'm going to get notarized, I'm going to say, then I'm going to, since you didn't send me this stuff, I'm going to assume that none of these people have any of these documents, right? Because if you did, you should have sent them to me. Simple. Okay. I got a ton more stuff, but that's enough for one day, I would say, being that we're 2 hours and a half in. But here's a whole other folder full of fun information and how to do W4 sandwiches and how to do, because what you're going to do is you're going to ask our friends over at the judiciary, or excuse me, not the judiciary, over at, oh, there they go. Hold on, quick. I gotta go get it. Got a little wind tunnel action going on here. I picked that thing up, and of course, it blew away. Help. Okay, anyway, there's a ton more information in there with regard to how to get these guys to audit the, and see, my thing, everybody's all upset about the 87,000 IRS agents. Well, there's a ton of guys like me that are requesting audits on judges, prosecutors, police officers, public defenders, and so forth, because they don't have their Foreign Agent Registration Act statements. They don't have their oaths of office. They don't have their anti-bribery statements, and so forth. All right, so acting outside their authority, taking bonds out of your account, acting as executor, acting as trying to tell you that you're the trustee and they're the beneficiary of your trust. How'd they get to be beneficiary of your trust again? Anyway, so you send documents to the executive secretary, Department of the Treasury executive secretary, and ask them to audit the account. Naughty, because I guarantee you the judges who are taking 18% and using, oh crap, now I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but they're writing your bonds. Crap, I just had that. Not an agency agreement. What's it called? I just read it to you. Hold on a second. see if I can find it. One fast one. There's a name for it rather than doing brain farts. Darn it. Anyway, it's not an agency agreement. It's the other thing. But basically what they're doing is writing your bonds and not reporting the tax. So they owe tax when they take that stuff out of your account, when they write all those bonds on there. So basically what they're doing is, oh man, what the heck is it called? I hate it when that happens. Let me see if I can find it. But anyway, they use that document. And by the way, it's legal and lawful for them to do that because they are not, what do you call it? They're not, when they use that, they're not taxable. And now I just got to find the name of it. But anyway, when they do that, though, when they do write the bonds, there is tax due, and they don't pay the tax. And the IRS, for auditing your account, which they love to do, they get a lovely 13%. So you're going to pay no matter what. But it's not like they're taking it out of your bank account. They're taking it out of your trust account, and you never see that money anyway. So, and I can't remember the name of the thing. I'll put it on the bottom. Certificate of participation. There you go. Sorry. Hugely important. Again, look up certificate of participation, 17 CFR 240.15C2-12. The certificate of participation allows them to collect the interest off of your bonds because they're acting as beneficiary, and they don't have to report tax on it. So that's legal. Not lawful, but legal. But you, what you want to do is tell the executive secretary, this account needs auditing because they're making a mess of my account. I'm just looking to see what you can see in the back. It looks all tropical and stuff. It's a coconut tree. Anyway, like I said, I'm in Hawaiian Homes. But the idea being is that once you stick the IRS on them, the IRS don't care if it's a mother that's, single mom with children, or if it's a judge, or if it's Al Capone. Kash Patel basically told me through video, he wasn't talking directly to me, but he was talking about this thing, said everybody wants the sexy stuff. They want the the deprivation of rights under color of law and the conspiracy against rights and all the Title 18 violations. Yeah. That's all cool and stuff. But what's nice and cut and dried is IRS violations, right? And the IRS, and that's a whole other thing. Me and the IRS go way, way back. That's how my first Freedom of Information Act, way back in like 1998, when I asked them simply if they had a creation statute and why the words United States didn't appear on their letterhead. I fully expected. You got to remember, back then I had a securities license. I was a insurance agent. I had 6 and 63. I was a principal. I trained agents. I held classes. Anyway, so I fully expected to get a letter back from the IRS that said, "Shut up. Here it is. Right? Here's our statute of creation, and here's why the words United States don't appear." Because it's because you're not going to have the United States Department of the Treasury audit these guys. It's just the Department of the Treasury Executive Secretary over there at 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue. I believe it's 3413, room 3413. Washington, D.C., 20220. Got the number memorized because I've written it down so damn many times on envelopes and so on. But anyway, the idea is they're going to go do an audit, and they're going to find out that these naughty people that are unregistered foreign agents have been writing bonds on your account and have been profiting off your account and not paying the taxes. They don't give a shit that they're fucking you. What they want is their cut. Right? Simple as that. It's all about the money, folks. So once you bust them, that's that, right? They will most likely make the thing go away as quickly as possible. So anyway, find out about that. And I'm going to put videos below. Like I said, come back here. All right. What else do we got? Oh yeah, this is the other thing. With my a letter came back that basically said this is a private matter. They're right. It is a private matter, and if it's a private matter, they got no business in your private matters, right? It's supposed to be a court of public record, but they're doing private business. And one more time, I'm going to tell you, this also was something that was amazing to me. This should be worth $1. All rise. Everybody rises. You sit down. Court is adjourned, and now it's time for private bar guild business. You thought you were in a court of public record, and you thought you were paying respect to the judge. So when you rise, it's also the Roman Curios ceremony and so forth, and I'm not going to get into that. But the idea is, no, they just adjourned court. Now they're doing private business, and you're the private business. And pillaging your estate is what they're doing. And they need 3 signatures, by the way. The judge, the prosecuting attorney, and your public defender or your lawyer, right? They all know about it, and they can't talk about it. If they talk about it, they get in serious trouble, right? So they're not even supposed to acknowledge or admit that they have any kind of, that they're doing any kind of hanky-panky with your bonds in your trust. But they are, and they're paying themselves handsomely. And everybody gets a cut. Public defender gets a cut. Who's he working for? I mean, really, guys? At least in jail, everybody called them the public pretenders because they knew that them guys not on your side. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, there you go. Because 87, I mean, there's 1,200,000, I think it is, attorneys, many of which are judges and so on and so forth. Yeah, they need auditing. And when you send in your forms, like, okay, in my case, there's a judge, there's a couple of prosecutors, there's a couple of public defenders, there's a couple of other lawyers, there's at least 2 clerks, maybe 3 clerks. Okay, all of that, they're going to need audit. And when they do the audit, it's going to take some time. They're going to need agents. That's just me. That's 5 guys on one case, right? And then there's another case. All right. So think of now, start doing some math and multiply how many times. Okay, they're going to need 87,000 agents. And of course, they're going to scare you and tell you that, oh, they're coming after you, which they are. But you also need them for them to be able to go in and do the audits. And thousands of people have figured out that these audits need doing. And that's how you use your W4 sandwich. Okay. Let's see here. Because nobody wants to know the truth. Nobody wants to know. Anyway, nobody wants to hear this stuff. Is why it's so small. And nobody wants to do their own damn research. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. They do drain. Yep. Thanks, man. Awesome. All right. I got a feeling I know who that guy up there was. The squared circle squares. Yeah, I know. It was 10 months ago. It was, I mean, fuck, time has just flown by. I don't know about you, but 2022 just, I woke up and I went, holy crap, it's going to be September. It was a year ago next Friday that I got on a plane to go to Arizona, and it's been nonstop giggles ever since. Like I said, you're looking at a very wealthy man if they don't kill me, because I'm not afraid I'm not afraid at all. In fact, I've gotten to the point where when I first walk into court, I was all nervous. And, what am I going to say? And am I going to remember this? I just write stuff down and refer to it. No problem. And you can also write stuff down and hand it to people. Oh, and this is the other thing I did. It was fun. 1096 and a 1099. They owe those 2 forms on that account. I handed it to the prosecuting attorney, and he threw it back at me. They're not filing their 1099s or 1096s and 1099. OID, original issue discount. You are the original issue discount. They write bonds at a lower level, at original issue at a discount, and then they mature over time, right? And everything that's ever been in court, as any traffic ticket you got, a parking ticket you got, they wrote bonds on that because they charge you for doing business for you, and administering your estate for you. And the bonds just sit there forever and ever. Anyhow, Moke the cat is wanting attention. Anyway, he's actually, they do that thing with their claws. Fortunately, I'm wearing jeans and boots, so it doesn't hurt. But when you only stay inside shorts and rubber slipper, this cat tears your freaking ankles up. Anyway, he just wants to be friendly, but he doesn't know. Let's see. All right, I think I'm done. I've said that a couple of times now, but I think I'm actually finished. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to try and put a Patreon link down there, and if I can find it, it's been so long. And if I can find, I know I'll be able to just go to my website. Oh, and go to Crouton Ramon, Crouton Ramon's House of Math.com or CroutonRamon.com. Either one will take you there. And scroll down and look at the video of the month. The one right now is about silver, but I have put other videos up there that are about other things from experts and whistleblowers and so on. So, Bryce, not looking good is all I can say. I mean, fuck. But there's hope, and this is the other thing. Go look at. Don't believe those people that say you can't be healed because the body has infinite capacity to be healed. I happen to be one who believes in the Christ consciousness for healing. I can tell you, in jail, I laid hands on people, and there were amazing and miraculous things that happened that you wouldn't fucking believe. But I have multiple witnesses. I actually have papers that I made those guys sign. And these were criminals, absolute criminals. Some of them murderers, some of them gang members that had absolutely killed others. Christ's forgiveness is beyond our ability to conceive. And if you ask for healing or if you ask for forgiveness, it is unlimited. And these guys did. I had them doing the Lord's Prayer before sleeping. I mean, anyway. And that's what I mean. That's why that Satanist guy is, I respect you because you're a Christian. I am. I'm a Christian. I make no bones about it. Jesus, we can go have some debates about Jesus, but the Christ consciousness and Christ Jesus, I'll go with it, right? The man who had the most of the embodiment of Christ, but it's a consciousness. If you're waiting for some dude, you're going to be waiting a long time. But if you understand the Christ consciousness, here and now, it's happening, and there is a fight between good and evil. And I have talked about the left-hand path and the right-hand path, and I'm telling you, pick a fucking side. 2/3 are on this side. Only 1/3 got kicked out of heaven. Oh, and that's another thing. I got books about the Nephilim being responsible for our banking, and this lady did all kind of great research. I got videos to make out the yang, and most of them, I'm assuming, will not get me kicked off. So, like I said, there's some other stuff I really want to talk about that I can't, and you know that, right? In the United States, obviously, we're not in the United States of America. We're in United States Corporation because United States Corporation doesn't give a shit about your free speech rights, right? Like, oh, it's their platform, so they can. No, just no. Anyway, so it's coming, and yeah, brah, I can't tell you 100 more times, and buy silver. And I got a video. The math says buy silver, $19 or whatever it is, $19 and change right now. It's about to blow apart. I swear to God. I've been saying this since like 2004, but this time for real, it's about to blow apart. I'm telling you, they don't have the silver. Warren Buffett seems to be taking delivery. We're going to have sound money again. You'll see. There's big, humongous changes coming. And what they did, I hate to say it, they got rid of the stupid people. They just, both sides, whether white hat, left-hand path, right-hand path, stupid people, you got to go. And if you're that stupid, you got to go. And then the other thing, in the judiciary, say here on Maui, in order for them to enter the building, so many of them got 2 and 2 more. And now you and I don't have to pick up arms and storm any court. We don't have to do any of that stuff. All we got to do is sit back, relax, and they're dropping like flies. I just heard that a couple of attorneys on Big Island, young guys, they apparently climate change caused them to have sudden adult death syndrome. It's amazing here in Hawaii, you know. and others, many others. The one thing we have here in Hawaii that's helping us is the abundance of vitamin D. You can't help it. You go outside, you're going to get vitamin D. And vitamin D is one of the main things you need. But anyway, which is keeping these guys. And then plenty of people here smoke and drink. But believe it or not, the nicotine is helps the receptors from. Anyway, can't talk about it because I'll start getting strikes. But the idea being is that all you got to do, prepare and wait. Wait till a huge segment of the population, 19 for 20. They got these guys 19 for 20. They do the this thing, not this thing, but this, right? And then the other one is that, right? So the D and the R. The D guys, 19 for 20. When they figure out that they're dead men walking, I'm telling you, sit back and relax. Prepare for that. That's the freaking thing you need to prepare for. Never mind the economy and all that other stuff. When those guys finally lose their shit, it's going to be fucking chaos. I'm telling you. No, climate change. Absolutely. It causes sudden adult death syndrome. Didn't you know that? I've read it all over the place. That's so fucking stupid. And if you're that stupid and you believe it, neither one of them wants you on their team. Neither white hat, black hat, gray hat. They just want you the fuck gone. And that's what's happening. There's guys on Oahu lining up for, can't talk about it. But the other crazy thing that, the pox, the 100th monkey. Yeah, that pox. Anyway, fucking crazy. Okay, peoples, I said I'm going to quit. I was trying to get to 3 hours even, but close enough. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This one was nutrient dense. I talked about chapter after chapter, USC, how to go around it, how to give judicial notice, how to get your evidence in, depositions, not affidavits. Judicial notice is a thing, section 201. Many of the videos down there will go into subrogation and other things because I don't have time about it to do. But usually that stops them cold, except in my case, because they're really, like the one officer said candidly, wow, I don't know who wants you, but they want you bad. 50 grand on my bond and hold no matter what is what they basically said. Didn't matter if they didn't come up with warrant or whatever, just hold. Anyway, so and the fight's not over. We're not done yet. We'll see what happens on Monday. Oh, and that's another thing. Like I said, before Monday, check back. I'll put the Zoom meeting number if you guys want to Zoom in to act as witnesses. Then we'll see. I've had great days in court where I was like all about it, and I've had other days in court where I fucked up totally because I didn't say the right thing and I tongue tied, or it's like being on here where I couldn't remember Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, or well, anyway, you've seen me stutter through this, and it's because when something happens in your brain when you get in that pressure situation. But now I'm at the point where when I get to the in front of the judge, I'm not scared, I'm not nervous, I'm actually a little pissed. And I don't know about, I used to race competitively in swimming, and when you've practiced and you've trained and you're ready to go, you still get up to that starting block and you got those butterflies in your stomach, but they're not scared butterflies. They're like, all right, let's do this, right? Okay, that's the way I am now. I'm not scared when I walk up there. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's have some fun. Let's see what's going on. And if you look at archaics and you understand that you're in a simulacrum, the simulacrum, do you have courage or not? Can you perform under pressure or not? Will you pick the right-hand path no matter what, right? Or will you, right, succumb to the left-hand path? Because I'll tell you what, Lucifer and his minions, they'll give you wealth, they'll give you power, they'll give you sex, they'll give you whatever the fuck you want. All you got to do is do what they tell you. But, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then it turned out Rage Against the Machine, they want you before you can come in and see their concert. Wow. All right, folks, I'm out. 100th monkey. I made it to 3 hours. All right, 18 likes. Awesome. Share this among friends. mostly share the links underneath. That's not this and this video. That's the important part. It's the information, right? And if any of you want my documents, I've got them all scanned. I'll send them to you. Crouton Ramon for Math at Gmail. I will send you documents if you want them, and I will text to you soon. Hopefully, it won't be another fucking 10 months. Hopefully, it'll be a week or two. And like I said, if you can afford $1 at this point, believe it or not, it makes a difference. Because the other day I went to the print shop and it was $112, and that was him giving me full-on comment on a discount. And because I've been there so much and he's known me for years, he cut it down because it would have been more, a whole lot more than that. But he's on my team, so he was helping me out, because I think it would have been closer to 300, and I got out of there for like, would have been more, a whole lot more than that. But he's on my team, so he was helping me out, because I think it would have been closer to 300, and I got out of there for like 112. Anyway, and that's just paperwork. Now I got to pay, what do you call it? Postage and, notaries. And anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys soon. 100 Monkey out. Be of good cheer, Crime Stoppers. We're winning this thing, even though it doesn't look like we're winning this thing. That's part of the way we're winning this thing. It's making it look like, Sun Tzu. When you are strong, look like you're weak. All right, 100th Monkey out. Take it easy. Yes, I want to end the stream.